Hey there, welcome to Streaming from the Multiverse. I am StarCraft Robert Welling, and with me I have Alex Kingdom Key 23.
Yo, how are you guys doing?
Uh and Fizzy and how do you I forget what you go by again.
You could just call me Piper, but
Piper.
Piper and Fizz Giggity on
Fizz,
Twitter.
yep.
Do you have
And
a show link though, so I can blast at
oh,
everyone?
sorry. Yep, I will send that to you. And we also have Zario Diamond, aka Ingrid.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yep. And well, today it's just going to be a free for all. We have some others who are going to be joining us. They're just running a bit late. Some are eating, some are doing who knows what, but they will be showing up. But for right now, well, we talked about already a few other topics ahead of time. For one thing, let's talk about with Spider-Man. None of us have seen it yet, but from what we've been hearing, it's been all right. So, are any of you planning on seeing it? I know Alex and I are going to see it later, but are you ladies?
Sorry.
I guess not.
There's your answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay then. Well, then instead, and let's just instead talk about this then with Spider-Man. It feels like it's the definite cap off to the era. Correct? Would you all agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with it at we're at right now, going forward, what's going to take Marvel to get you any of you to want to see another movie going forward? Do you think you're ever going to, or do you think not going to happen?
They would have to bring back all my favorite actors, honestly. My favorite characters. They'd have to bring them back.
Yep. Which ones are your favorites?
Dude, they weren't in the comics, but I love movie more, Tony Stark. And
Right.
I just think they really picked really great people to play them.
Agreed.
So like I want them all back. And then Thor's kind of up in the air whether or not he wants to continue. So I want Loki back, like
Right. Well, technically they do have a back door for him.
yeah.
So
yeah, that is true.
if they want him back, they can. Oh boy, and just to find out, Unholy Spork just informed me she cannot make it tonight. Her grandmother's in the ER, so I wish her the best.
Yeah, we wish you the best.
Yep. So anyway, though, but yeah, as far as with me, I just want something that looks like it's going to be good, something that's not. Well, I'll just simply say this: Captain Marvel is my basis of what I don't want going forward
Yeah.
at all. And if they're going to advertise it that way, if they're going to advertisement where they just want to go for the outrage culture, all that, I don't care for that. I do not want that. All I want is something they'll say is a good story that's appealing to everyone, and I want good villains. I think that's the one thing Marvel's still been lacking at is it's like once in a blue moon you get a good villain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're just you get to the end of the movie and you're kind of like, wait, who was the villain again? Like, of course, I mean, obviously the big one was Thanos. He was great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
does think it beat with Thanos, my boy.
Yeah, of course. But I also did like what's his name from Black Panther? I thought he was really good.
Yeah, but dead.
Yeah, of course.
It's like always, except for Loki, most of the good ones get offed.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
They're like, oh, this is a villain you actually care for and sympathize with. We don't need him.
Exactly.
Well, even in the comics, the ones they've used have been they were written pretty meh too.
Yep.
Except I'm really pissed what they did with Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
I will never stop being pissed about that. Salty about that.
But they still have him a good chance of him coming in.
The real Mandarin, or what they decided was the real Mandarin.
I think they're saying the real Mandarin since they did that one story, that one short movie. They basically saying like, oh no, it could still be the real Mandarin. He's out there somewhere.
Because they got a perfect person to be the Mandarin, and then
stoned
actor instead. And then said whoever he was, forgettable guy, said he was the Mandarin because he had a tattoo.
Oh, he was more saying that in the figure, but then that short revealed, oh no, there is a real Mandarin, and he's not happy. And he tried to have the actor killed, and it turns out the actor killed the assassin, but through more bumbling. But who knows? Maybe they could still probably have it be Kingsley, just have it be that Yeah, the guy looks like him. He looks just like the real Mandarin. They could go for that.
Well,
Yeah, so
technically,
basically
if
what
they
that
do
was.
open up this multiverse thing, and use the time skip as an excuse and stuff, then they could still bring back a Mandarin from a different dimension,
Right. Yeah,
basically.
but you mind if I spoil what I've heard about with Spider-Man?
No, yeah, that's fine. Well, for me it is.
What
I
about
don't know.
you? What about you two?
For the movie?
Yeah.
I might want to hold
I
off
guess
on
I'm not
that.
as much care about spoilers anymore in this territory.
All right. Well, I
No,
won't.
wait, hold on. you forgot the other person in the room. I'm not sure if I want to be spoiled yet.
Oh no, I wasn't going to. I was
Oh,
saying,
okay. Well, I didn't hear. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
misunderstood.
But FYI, I invited someone else to come fill in for Spork instead.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But anyway, but I just think going forward, if they, I don't mind if they bring in Ms. Marvel and all that stuff. You know, Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. I don't mind if they do that because I think they could still do something good with the character. Hell, I won't mind Riri if they do it because I think they're gonna try and at least make her a character if they go with the current comic book version.
What?
You know what I mean?
The one that's
What
still
Al
his
Ewing is
stuff?
doing would actually give her a character. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just curious on what the ongoing arc's going to be if there's going to be one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about I'm not so much into the comics as you guys are, so I definitely would have to say that mine would probably be relying a little bit more on their just being good actors and a good story overall in general, since I've got very little preconceptions as to what's supposed to be there from the comics to really judge off of.
Yeah, I think even then, you should still kind of judge them by the movies they are. Because again, I'm not I know I like Marvel, but I'm not I don't know everything like you guys do. But at the same time, I'm kind of as long as these characters are written well, then I'm okay, then let's go.
Right. So but yeah. So anyway, with other things going on lately though, geez, I actually had something now. I'm just blanking on it now.
I think Eric just joined us.
Oh, dude. Eric?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, he went mute. Oh, Eric? Testing. Oh, no, he's supposed to do that.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Well, here's something else to talk about that we could talk about why he's getting going. The Charlie's Angel reboot, remake, whatever.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Because we need another one of those.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing, from what I heard. It's set in the continuity of the other movies.
So is it a different team then?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's from what I understand it is. And that just sounds ridiculous. Oh, I just got a text from Eric saying his mic isn't working. Dude, just keep... can you hear us? Text me if you can hear us at least while we keep on talking. And that's but yeah, I mean, I think if it continues on, then you just said yes. Dude, just keep trying to figure it out. And if you bump out, I'll invite you back in. But anyway, like I said, funny thing I heard though is Drew Barrymore, even though I heard some sources say she's executive producer, I'm hearing others saying she's not involved. And I'm like, oh, come on. She's been keeping this franchise going, and you want Banks to have more of a say than Barrymore has? I mean, what, did the TV show do that badly? Oh, wait, it barely lasted a season. Yeah, there was a revival TV show.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
Neither did I.
Yeah, it lasted like 9 episodes.
I got so confused for a second. I'm like, but the original is popular. But I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't. That's how much everybody knows. There was another show.
Yep. It only lasted 9 episodes. But I gotta say this is that what thing that surprised me most is why didn't Banks just go all the way? With the why have it be Charlie? Why have him answer to a man? Why not instead make it Charlene or something?
Well, what I heard about this movie was that Charlie becomes a title, and it is a woman.
Really? Even though we hear a male voice in what little bit we heard?
It's supposedly it's supposed to actually be a woman.
Audio editing, man.
So
No,
not
I'm
only do we
kidding.
do we have multiple different Bosleys, but now we also have multiple Charlies.
Yeah, I don't know if the man's voice is also supposed to be a disguise thingy, but like for this Charlie's Angel, like a long time ago, there was like
I mean, I know the actor
Caesar
passed
or
away long
something.
ago. I know that.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, no, don't, no. And I gotta say though, the one thing that got me chuckling in the trailer was that hearing actually I'm just like at her name right now. Kristen Stewart saying, I can actually do things. I'm like, I think that was a potch at everyone just saying like, oh, she's a piece of wood and everything.
Oh God, yeah.
I think that's what it was. I'm like, you do you, girl, whatever. But and because here's the thing, I didn't mind her in the Thura. You know, what little bit she had in that role, you know, the sequel to Jumanji.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh, it's actually good.
I've heard it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and she wasn't that bad in it for what little bit she had. All the funny thing is, she's crushing on this astronaut guy who ends up being an older version of her brother. But the look on her face when she realized that, she's like, "I wanted to." Ah!
Hey, well, you know what? Back to the Future did it too. So.
No. Her brother.
Yeah, but still.
I know, but this is a case where, you know, but I do love at the end where she then tells the other kid who the astronaut was basically say like, we don't talk about this. Hey, aren't you going to say something about my eyes? She acted like an actual teenager in that.
Yeah.
She was by that point. But but again, it's just why do this? Man, and the other thing about Banks is that I didn't mind her originally. I loved her as Betty Brant. You know what I mean? And all the other stuff. And Rita in the Power Rangers movie, she was good. Why is she so woke? This woke Hollywood's just getting on my nerves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't even know why they're trying to do another Charlie's Angels. Like, I mean, I guess to try and update it again. I guess. I mean, like, we had the movie, which it was fine, but
two movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't.
But this time they're all feminist.
as making a remaster for the PS4, a game that was already re-released on the PS3. That's so necessary. This sounds like, aka not at all.
No,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
this time they're feminists, so they got to do it again.
I mean, the only thing I would say is that I was surprised they had her one angel flirting with that guy, and it's like, wow, actual flirting. But here's something else. Speaking on something else, there's one example I will defend, saying it's not a bad thing when it was brought up. Recently, the Mask co-creator, Michael Richardson, I believe his name was, said that if they were to redo the movies, and given some of the masks they would have to, he would want there to be a female mask. I've seen so many people be up in arms about it. I'm one of those saying, guys, and there have been female masks. Anyone can wear the mask. So long as it's not a female Stanley Ipkiss, what's the problem?
Look, as long as they don't go all Ghostbusters with the marketing and crap, I'm fine.
Exactly. Eric's saying he's having an issue trying to get in still, so I'm going to send him another link.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like, why are people complaining? I'm seeing so many people in and around the comic community are like, that's like, guys, it's not like it's some random person that has no idea what they're talking about. It's one of the co-creators, the head honcho of Dark Horse saying this. And again, it has existed. What's the problem?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's one of those cases where it's like, you kind of get kind of like a knee-jerk reaction to seeing that sort of thing, that you kind of forget that it's not the thing itself that's the problem, it's the thing behind the thing.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yep, that is true. And so I've heard other people argue saying, oh, no one can match the comedy of Jim Carrey. Here's the other thing. The movie that everyone loves and adores is a loose adaptation of the comics. If anyone's read the comics, it's gory as fuck.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is like basically, oh right, that's why Toonie logic doesn't work in real life, because that could happen. And but it's like people just they either want the Jim Carrey mask, which is fine. I want something in between. I don't want
Wait,
to be
are they
like constant.
rewriting? Are they rewriting the Jim Carrey one? Just putting a chick in now,
No, no one, no. The
or
creator
is she actually going to be her own different person and
they never
story?
said. All it was the co-creator said this is what he would want to see, and everyone's having a conniption over it.
You know, I thought it was actually happening.
Really?
Yeah.
To Google.
Yep, hold on. I am just checking that up very quickly. It says, he says it may be in the work, and it would be a gritty one.
I'd be down
Okay,
for
because all
that.
I've seen is pictures where she's wearing like the same outfit
Yeah,
and not making quite as goofy of a face, but that's because she's not Jim Carrey. But
right. I think that's just someone photoshopped it. But here's what I said. Someone made a suggestion once before. Kate McKinnon could do it. I think she'd be able to pull it off. She was probably the best thing about the female Ghostbuster movie. It's Holtzman. And I think she has that energy and that excitement.
Yeah, it's like people just they always forget. Like I think definitely nostalgia sometimes just blinds us, and we're kind of like with like, oh no, this is the only one. There's never like a different interpretation that we could look at and see from a different point of view.
E.g., a good portion of the old school RuneScape community.
I'm sure.
You would know that more than any of us, Ingrid.
Yep, and well, not everyone there is bad. It's just like there's a significant portion of that, and it's just like, yeah, I think I'm happy with my life right here where it is right now, rather than trying to fruitlessly relive my childhood. Okay, thanks.
Eric said he's having a problem trying to get in.
Oh.
Yeah, he said the link isn't working now.
I miss original ideas. I feel like the world just ran out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. But if anything, I look at the mask of. I know it's going to probably cause some people to be like, "Oh, it's not like the Jim Carrey one. I'm not interested." But at the same time, it's like I said before, the mask was not originally meant to be a Tex Avery come to life. So I personally feel like if they go that far of redoing it and having it be more like the original comics or something close enough to it, I personally think that would actually be something fresh to a lot of people.
You know what's and I was sort of going on that tangent. You know what's something that I would kind of like to see adapted into a movie that I kind of remembered because there's a new installment in the series coming out relatively soon?
What?
The Monster Hunter International books. They're pretty great. It's basically think of a lot of the kind of horror and fantasy stuff you can think of. And think of like a B horror movie, except the characters are actually smart, so they have to throw a whole bunch of monsters at them. And it's monsters from basically everything you could think of: vampires, werewolves, zombies, mythological horrors, Lovecraftian horrors, just kind of everything. And it's like, that would be a freaking awesome movie to go ahead and watch. And the series is pretty dang great. So yeah, if you're looking for some nice summer reading, there's my recommendation right there. There are a lot of books and a lot of side content. So yeah, I would totally love to see a movie of that.
Agreed. Now, and you know what? On a different note, something that's talking about lack of originality. Now that for the most part, Jason Aaron's Thor run is mostly on the winding down, I could definitely say this without hyperbole. It's quite clear he took so much influence from Dan Jurgens' Thor ride. It's not even funny, right down to the ending with Thor being now King of Asgard and all that. It's like, wow.
We got him.
What? Oh, hey, dude.
Hello.
Hey.
Working.
Welcome to the
yes,
party.
we can hear you.
Fucking finally. Pardon my language.
Well, good thing I'm not monetized. Otherwise, I'd be demonetized. No, I would have been demonetized earlier, actually.
I gotta turn the camera off.
Did anyone see anything?
I didn't see anything.
I see crap.
We didn't see anything.
I hope not. I got out of the shower not too long ago.
Dude, TMI.
Hey.
La 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 la.
What was that?
We did not need to hear that.
I said I just got out of the shower. Sorry.
Oh, but that's it.
That's it.
Holy crap, you guys!
we're messing with them.
I was gonna say, are we grown ups?
Hey, we're messing.
Don't worry, there's plenty of the E-Man to go around.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Don't worry, I'm the macho E-Man. Oh yeah, Saboteur Slim Jim, dig it.
Dig it. Can you dig it?
Okay. So what I miss?
Not much. We're just all over the place.
I heard everything from Charles Angels to everything up to the mask, and you guys said backdoor.
FY looks like Lola's now having issues on her end too. Power's out.
This is the cursed stream.
It is. I mean, hopefully Rookie and Dion can get in here soon.
Maybe it's the Skeletor mask, man.
I should change my avatar, but
maybe it's me about to like butt it. Hey Alex, do your behemoth. So we can get the bleach there.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, Pantera rules.
I am the big Confolio. I do TV for my bunghole.
TV for his bunghole.
Oh, the Rookie just joined us.
Hey, Rookie.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
Not much at all.
Oh, nothing much.
We're getting a few more people in. I was just telling people Lola can't and might not make it. Power's down her end, and earlier we mentioned Sport can't make it.
Okay.
And I don't know what happened to Optipops, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with napping.
Oh, geez. Well,
I
he
can
said
kind
he'd
of
be late
understand
anyway.
that. I've been feeling kind of off today.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. But, hey, Rookie, since you're here, we were just earlier talking about one, if you've seen Spider-Man yet, none of us have.
Nope.
All right, but, two, from what you've been hearing about it, do you want to still see it or not?
I mean, I haven't really heard that much about it so far, so I don't know. I've heard some people say it's horrible, some people say it's great.
All right. And
I'm gonna wait on it.
Third, if the going forward now, since a lot of us agree this is the end of the era for a lot of Marvel Cinematic, what's it going to take with Marvel to get your butt in the seat to see a movie in the theater, or even get it on DVD?
I don't know. I think the way they market lately, if they change that up, that'd be pretty good. Lately, it's just been not as enticing to go see. So I don't know. They show way too much in the trailers. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So like, I want to kind of figure out the movie when I'm there, rather than get all the tidbits in the trailers. But I don't know.
All right.
That's what trailers always are. They gotta spoil all the good stuff.
Yeah, more than you think sometimes until you see it, and you're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And then if it's an R-rated movie, they cut out the cursing. Like, if my calculations are correct, on this baby it's 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious stuff.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree on that, except for this being like the 25th movie in a series. Like, they don't need to show that much.
Exactly. Now, the other thing and as I told everyone else here, was me, the other thing that would definitely detract me is if I can definitely tell that the villains are not going to have any focus and they're going to just use Captain Marvel as the basis for everything, even having villains that are just there for cannon fodder. You know what I mean?
Know. See, what I'm worried about is that they'll keep on going with these huge, like, oh, the world might be destroyed, or oh, a whole city is going to blow. It's like, can we get one where it's like the length of a street, or like people are at risk rather than a whole planet or galaxy or something?
Exactly, but when you have Captain Marvel as powerful as she is, yeah.
This is the thing I like about comics. It can be it switches back and forth between cities, and then something coming from another planet.
Yeah, like I mean,
of course it depends though. If you have if the street level hero like Power Man or Spider-Man or Batman, it's always down low. If you have Superman, the Fantastic Four, or somebody else, it's always up in the sky sometimes, or you go back down to the ground.
Right.
Well, I mean, even if it's Superman, though, I think you could still have a ground level story without it being the whole galaxy is going to be destroyed. It's like no, you can have a personal story without.
Yeah, there's been plenty in the comics that have just dealt with the characters and their like struggles of everyday life.
Here's one thing I would love to see is Superman having a movie with Superman, but he deals with inner gang or something. You can still have apocalyptic technology, but it's still about the fate of Metropolis, not the whole world or whatever.
Yeah, but let them test the waters with the technology and all that.
Exactly. It works.
Before Darkseid comes in.
Yeah, something that's still fantastical, but you have grounded level people handling that fantasticalness, so they don't usually know what they're doing. That's what I would love to see.
I just don't know how they're going to put Captain Marvel in movies that are not her specific and make her part of the Avengers. She's so OP that if there's a problem, it's like, well, she can do it. Everybody else just sit at home.
Yeah, that was a joke.
I think it could work just fine, but she has no character or personality, and it's like even the Hulk, like he can actually mingle with the other people in the room and be just fine, and it's like he can be interesting to watch, like in Thor Ragnarok.
And even in like the first Avengers, like he was going on a rampage, kicking all sorts of ass, but he was just like there's a charm to him as well that you just couldn't like stop and watch.
Yeah, he's technically not OP because he's still got his limitations. He's very strength-based.
It's like Tony said. Yeah. I like it when you go and turn into a green monster and rampage all over the place.
Thanks. I know, exactly. And again, that's the thing with Hulk, though, that, he can be knocked out. I think that's a big reason why they made the Asgardians be just uber-powerful aliens and not actual gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still found it because that reminded me of Rob, when you showed me the Hulk versus movies and you showed me the Thor one. It's like, oh my god, Hulk was destroying all of Asgard.
Oh yeah, but of course, Loki in control at first, and then he went rampage.
Of course.
Well, it's like the similar complaints were hurled at the Justice League movie. They're like, Superman is all this. What's the point of the Justice League again?
Well, as I always want to point out, Superman can't be everywhere.
Yeah, but people forget that. I feel like the Justice League cartoons do a better job, but then again, it's under Bruce Timm. Of course it's going to do good.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question I want to ask. Given all the stuff with the Marvel and Fox and everything, which one do you want to see done in the MCU first? The First Family or the Mutants?
Fantastic Four. I just want one good movie. Just one good movie. That's all
I was going to say,
I don't blame any of you.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, the Tim Story movies weren't that bad. They just weren't that great either.
I mean, at least I've never seen them, but at least they look like they stayed true to what Fantastic Four is.
The second one.
For the most part, the guy who played the Shield does great as Ben.
Oh yeah, Michael Chiklis, he was perfect for Ben.
All that makeup, man. He's got more guts than I did to be covered in that all throughout the movie.
Exactly, and then you have hold on. Oh yeah, but the one big problem was Doom. They can never get Doom right at all.
Oh
Doom has enough. You can make the whole movie series and mythology around him. Go figure.
Exactly, and then Galactus. Good Lord! Now, of course, you gotta blame Tom Rossman for that one.
That's why I'm saying I would give them one more chance in a different set of hands.
Right.
And after that, I'm just going to be convinced that no matter who touches it, it's like a cursed property or something.
It really is. Just like this stream.
I know. But the other thing I would also say is that with the Fantastic Four is that they are that perfect balance of things being grounded, but dealing with the absolute fantastic.
Well, yeah. It's like Stan actually wrote in the letters to the editor page. He said, how do we mix it? Well, here's the formula we've always done for our books. The fantastic exploits with down-to-earth realism. You got to hit that balance to believe it.
Yeah, I think I heard an analysis somewhere there. It's like when you raise the stakes to a level of save the world, it sort of gets to the point where, you can't really do that ultimate consequence because you still want to have a series to write. So the best way to do that is to kind of show stuff that's less certain, like the existence of like this particular entity or the state of the relationship between these two characters or something like that. Sort of give you a personal stake to see the greater stake.
Absolutely. That's just that's how, like, even in the beginning with the Marvel movies, like, Iron Man was like, it was like small, but it did its job, and it just like it slowly worked its way up.
Exactly. Now I will just say this: if there was anything else, I will give the Tim Story movies, and it's more poignant now with Stan no longer with us. At least we got the Stan trying to go to Reed and Sue's wedding gag, as a cameo, because that's never going to happen now.
Yeah, that's true.
I just love how they played it out though. Like, what's your name? Stanley. Yeah, I've heard that before. No, really, it's me. I'm Stanley. I just love that. But again, it's never going to happen now. But thank God we got at least one movie doing it.
Yeah.
And the best part is, Jack Kirby, when asked why they did it, Jack Kirby said, "I love satire."
But it also makes sense in universe, given how the Marvel comics are real in universe.
It does. That's what I love the most about
So it's
it.
just like, wow, what did those two do to get the four pissed off at them?
Well, I'll tell you, actually, and this is where continuity comes in. In issue 10, they sold themselves out to Doom for a plot, for a Reed plot. Reed was about to give a couple of story ideas to Stan and Jack, but held them at ray gun point and said, "This is what I want you to do for me." So I wonder if that was a little snub on their part for the wedding.
Ouch. Yeah, but again, no, just so much of the stuff going on in Hollywood and all that stuff. It's just like, when can we get back to things like Weaponized Nerd would say, make entertainment great again? When can we do that? Is it ever going to happen?
I think they got to crash and burn before they'll rebuild and realize they messed up, man.
The only way I see that is if
sadly, failure might be the only option.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Here's the thing, though, that everyone's predicting, though. If all of the studios fail, that means no more big screens, no more theaters, and everything will be driven by Netflix and Hulu and other streaming devices.
Oh, that is a good point.
I mean, a lot of people
so
hate
it is just kind of a conundrum there of like, yeah, we kind of want to see, like, we kind of want to clean up a lot of the grime that's sort of accumulated over time with stuff getting rehashed into an original, but it's like at the same time, it's like there are some legitimately good stuff. Like, I love the experience of going to a movie theater. I like getting the popcorn bucket filled up with an absolutely ungodly amount of butter and salt because that's how Robert and I always do it. And I like the experience of just going out to the movies, and I'd rather not lose that.
I know. I mean, ever since we were kids, I mean, you just, especially you're going there for the first time, and you look up on the screen, you're just like, wow, this is amazing.
But
like sometimes some movies, they feel better when you actually go and experience them in a theater.
Godzilla,
well, that's what my family went through. We all went when the special editions came out. We all went to see the Star Wars.
Hell yes! Hell yes!
Family, and just to hear that Lucas THX sound and seeing all of it happen on the big screen, it feels like for the first time since 1977. It's like, whoa.
I gotta ask, when the special editions came out, who here saw the episode New Hope? Then when Empire Strikes Back came out, they saw both A New Hope and Empire, and then when Return of the Jedi came out, they saw all three at once. Because I did.
I only saw one at a time with the family. I didn't go to see them twice.
Anyone else? Rookie?
I am 25.
Oh, never mind.
What happened?
No, he's
25.
Sorry, I feel old now.
What was the question?
Oh, I said, who here has, when the special edition came out, when the New Hope came out, they saw that one. Then when Empire came out, they saw New Hope and then Empire. And then when Return of the Jedi came out, they saw all three in the theater.
I just watched them one at a time when they came out.
Oh, I'm the only one then?
Dude,
I grew up poor. I can't afford to like double up on movies usually.
All right, so all right.
Robert, let me put it this way. I think you're the only one of us who read the expanded universe, so you're a geek for life.
I haven't read all of them. I more read stuff that I really enjoyed, and I played a lot of the games.
I read a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I played some of the games. They're awesome.
It's not bad, and I played a couple of the games a little bit. I only owned one. So.
What was that?
The crap. It's one nobody liked. Like nobody liked it, and you basically just the whole point was you were just having one-on-one fights, hacking people with a lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I remember playing it with a Wiimote.
Oh.
Which was fun briefly. I even got my son like the little attachment that lights up and actually makes it look like a lightsaber.
Aw.
Except we had to keep taking it off most of the time because it was like blocking sensors because whoever designed it was dumb, I guess.
Wiimote, am I right?
No,
right?
Yeah. But
I feel old because when they re-released the classics, man, I remember I had a Gigapet
Oh my god.
Like
that was shitting itself like crazy while I was trying to watch my
Wait a second.
movies.
You talk about gigapets. By that point, my sister had a Furby, several Furbies, in fact.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mom would collect Beanie Babies and sell them on eBay, and
Yep.
I had a Tiger Electronics pet of Looney Tunes.
Oh,
they
my
had
God.
they
I
had just
had-
come out with one for Looney Tunes and one for Nickelodeon's Rugrats. So I got the chance to take care of Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny as a pet.
I got my sister got Tamagotchi, but I wanted the Gigapets because I had one. And man, we did the Beanie Babies a little bit. Shoot, the only Tiger Electronics game I had was my mom gave me I had asked for a Game Boy
Oh.
because they were the old bricks ones.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
for the
yeah.
original Game Boy, and my mom was like, she gave me a Little Mermaid because I was obsessed with the Little Mermaid. Still my favorite Disney cartoon.
Do we want to bring up?
Can we keep talking
so-
about Tiger Electronics because I actually remember collecting some of those.
Yeah, so she gave me a Tiger Electronics Little Mermaid game, and was like thought it was the equivalent, and didn't understand why I was like, kind of disappointed. So
Well,
it wasn't a Game Boy. She was like, "Isn't this a Game Boy?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
No, it
It's
wasn't.
like the angry video game name heard it. It's the poverty version of a Game Boy.
Well, they only
Right.
cost $20. So well, here's the thing: they only cost $20, and because even though they were cheap to make, they had licenses of everybody. They had Jurassic Park, they had Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
Mega Man.
they had Bo Jackson baseball and Bo Jackson football. They had they had Sonic the Hedgehog. They had Street Fighter 2. They had Double Dragon. They had
Yep,
Tiny
we get
Toons. They had Bugs Bunny. They had
We get it. We get
DuckTales.
it.
They had
Yeah,
they
everything.
had a full house game. Full house game.
Yeah, we're just high fiving.
Where Stephanie was high fiving everybody.
that somehow seems right.
Yeah, all the Little Mermaid one was you had to make sure that you didn't hit rocks and coral reef while you're swimming
Wasn't there
along.
sharks
That was
too in
it.
that one?
Oh, and yeah, dodge sharks. But that was it. Like you pushed up or down to dodge things.
Yeah, beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, I remember that because my friend had the Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast ones too.
Nice.
Yeah, I had
Now
I think
you
I
have me remembering the kind of single game, sort of like pseudo console things that I would occasionally enjoy as a kid.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't remember the exact name of the games or anything, or whatnot. I just remembered that was a thing that I used to play when I was younger.
yeah, I think I had an X-Men one. I'm trying to remember if there.
Oh yeah, there was an X-Men one and a Home Alone one and all that.
Yeah, no, I think it was the Home Alone one too. Actually.
Yeah. And I remember the kids would like yank it out of the character's hands. Hey kid, give that back.
Right, but okay. Did anyone want to bring up about the Little Mermaid stuff?
First of all, Weaponized Nerd Rage is more dedicated than I am because he went through the entire hashtag and said, I only saw 3 that was about racism. Everything else is my representation. I smell a hoax. I smell a hoax.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't mind. I do not mind at all. In fact, I'll be honest. The only casting thing I actually found out was an interesting one, even though it caused some backlash. Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. I don't know. Just she has the size for it.
Wow.
Wait, who is it?
Melissa McCarthy. That was a rumor.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if she has the voice, the singing voice for it.
You
Yeah.
poor unfortunate souls. Go ahead. Make a choice.
Although, to be fair, everyone's complaining, like, oh, it's supposed to be a drag zone, so it shouldn't be a woman. It's like it was voiced by a woman still.
Yeah, but it was based on a drag person. That's why they're saying if they're going live action, might as well put a drag person.
Yeah, but
You
it was
might
still
actually
voiced by
get
a
more of the
woman,
feel of the
though.
character. So you play the song and they lip sync. That's what they do, man.
True.
No. All I picture doing that is the Great Muppet Caper where Miss Piggy yells, "You can't even sing. Your voice was dubbed." Watch it, fellas. Kermit, don't worry, Miss Piggy. We'll get you out of this.
Oh boy, the Muppets! What? And seriously, I wish they would come back to greatness again. Make the Muppets great again.
Oh, please, please, please! I will sell all my Sesame Street stuff for them to go bring it back.
So, have any of you? I know Eric has. Have any of you heard of Defunctland?
The
What?
YouTube channel.
Defunctland.
Oh
He
yeah,
does.
yeah. The channel.
Yeah. Because he's been doing a whole retrospective on the Muppets, and it's really good stuff. I highly recommend watching it.
Hey, just pause for a moment. Hey, Rookie. So you've been working on your own little sketch project and everything. How's that been going?
Well, by now I'd pretty much call it a movie in a way. It's like it's going to be 3 hours long total, 3 videos, an hour long each, trilogy, plus the Game of Tomatoes stop motion that you lended your voice for.
Yep.
That's going to be like 20 minutes, I think, total.
Yep. I love the stop motion you did for that. It's just so like, oh no, run away!
You guys want to see a little sneak peek of that?
Sure.
You sound like Mr. Bill doing that. Oh no!
Oh
Yeah,
no!
sure.
I don't know who Mr. Bill is. Another reference.
No, a mixture between Mr. Bill and Gumby, actually. Poggy, are you sure Prickle and Goo are going to meet us here?
Yeah. So I'm not sure how to work to get you to show up on your end.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. Do I have to set it to present to everyone? I think.
I mean, if people talk, then it'll like go away. But I mean, you can
There you
still
go.
see
Oh, no,
it
no.
on the screen. Otherwise, yeah. So I'm not giving context to this because it's
There
still
you
not fully edited yet. So just they're still in the actual folder, not in the editing process yet. That's Kevin the tomato that Robert here lends his voice
Yeah.
to.
Oh no.
And it's called Game of Tomatoes. So if you,
Oh yeah.
Oh my word!
Oh shit.
so it's a
Wait, I
it's a
need
game
to see that when Robert's voice is added to it.
yes, he plays.
It's a sequel to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes Part Returns.
Oh yes. If you guys have not seen my other Rotten Tomatoes videos where I, give them little voices and stuff, then that's kind of an idea. Except for now, it's voiced by other people, and this is Game of Thrones themed. So instead of the White Walkers, guess who they have to fight?
I forget what they were. It was
The
the
Skywalkers.
Skywalker.
Oh yeah, I see that.
These are a couple of Luke's and Anakin's in the snow, which is just flour and sugar in my backyard.
Oh my god,
Hard.
that's amazing.
Guys. I remember that.
Oh my god.
You sound like Theodore from the
No,
Chipmunks.
I don't think I did that squeaky. I was more like, guys. But I know, given how the voices were, you're probably going to pitch me up, right?
I haven't decided on that yet. I have to see how it all sounds. Some people
Alright.
are telling me that it's funny for a little bit, but then the high pitch gets annoying after like 5 minutes. So I'm like, might not do that.
All right.
And for people that don't know, these are olive swords that are found in alcoholic drinks, by the way.
Oh,
You notice
Code Pink.
these are their
You
weapons.
use 2 apples for every drink.
yeah. But yeah, I just love the stop motion you did, but you got it good.
I know. This is funny.
It was hard to do it in the grass because it's so uneven. So whenever I move
Oh
them,
yeah, man.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
well, in a tomato, it's like
I
there's
just
no
want to know what that tomato's telling the other tomato.
Oh, he's basically telling about how, no, they're dead. They're all dead.
Well, and it's like this is hard. It's harder than it looks because it's just a tomato. So it's like with stop motion, usually there's appendages to move or something, and this is just a tomato. So I'm like, I just kind of tilt it back and forth and rotate it. But I'm like, how many times do I need to do this?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's never easy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've learned that. But no, I spent like $60, I think, for the Game of Tomatoes part, and then like over 100 for the skit.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was sweet.
Which I just realized I still did not send you my give me your take my energy, did I yet? So I will still do that.
That's all right. That'll be so part 3. So I'm planning to try to release them in an order, like August 9th, then the following Friday after that, and then the following Friday after that for the trilogy. And I'll premiere them like on Friday noon Pacific each time. I think. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Please send me that link.
I'll post it everywhere, and hopefully everybody will share it. Leading up to it, I'm going to be promoting the heck out of it. After each one premieres, I'm going to have like an after stream or something, an after viewing stream, and I'll release bloopers later and like a full credit video as well. So
Right.
And I can already see the comments being like, better than the last season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, I imagine. And that reminds me, you guys might not know my skit that I'm actually doing. I'll show you some artwork that this one guy did for it real quick. And then,
Hey, looks like we got
Yeah.
Optimus in here.
Optimus.
Hello.
Optimus!
Oh,
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
I tuned in and saw tomatoes on the screen.
It's a new stop
Must
motion
be a
animation.
wonderful no context moment to walk in.
Oh,
on.
absolutely.
It's just tomatoes.
It's
Tomatoes.
It's a new stop motion series. We call it the California. Am I a fruit or a vegetable?
Yeah, I tuned in. I'm like, why are there tomatoes on? Okay, whatever.
What did you get yourself into?
Exactly. I ask myself that every night.
Six.
I mean, I have to do a show with Piper every night. So every night it's like, what did I do?
Yeah, but yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice.
That's sick.
Oh yeah, it's Kylo Jeremy. If you guys know Geeks and Gamers, there's
Yep.
like 1,000 parody accounts. He's the nemesis in this, and he's got NPCs under him, and there's Nega reviewers and stuff, and it's like me and all my different characters that I play. So I'm one man show.
It makes sense. It makes sense for Jeremy to have that mask.
Okay, where am I hearing Navi? I'm hearing Navi
That's
somewhere.
Piper.
I
I
am
can
too.
guarantee you right now. I know who it is.
I'm hearing something.
I already know
my,
it's freaking Piper.
it was my phone.
Nathan, look.
And I said it makes sense that Jeremy's Kylo Ren because he's the only one in existence who likes that stupid mask.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind the
Well, no,
mask.
so it's not Jeremy. Jeremy's going to be in it, but not for this. But the parody account, Kylo Jeremy voices that like it's.
Please tell me it's like the cheapest mask imaginable.
Well, what's even better is that I have a cutout of Kylo Ren and I put a Geeks and Gamers thingy on it, and then I move it around and I dub their voice over it.
I'm just picturing right now that the mask pulls off and it's actually Ren from Ren and Stimpy. You idiots! The Force is strong in this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you'll see. So August 9th will be the release, and then the following 2 Fridays after that for the other 2. So
Right.
when those will be coming out.
Yep.
Oh, that's so good.
Awesome.
Yep. So, well, yeah, that was nice. And I mean, I definitely, just to let you guys know, I obviously did a slight bit of improving with what Rookie had asked me to do, but yeah. But how well did that do with the when you were doing the? Did you already do the animation, or did you get my voice first and then do the animation?
I did the animation. I finished the filming for the Game of Tomato stuff like a couple weeks ago, actually. That's why I did them long enough to where it would fit whatever dialogue people put anyway.
All
So I
right.
figured people won't add a full 10 seconds to what I had to tell them to. I give them the line as a guideline, and they can make it fit how they would respond or something. And,
Right. I decided to be like a character, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Like how you would feel in the moment when it reads off the tongue. Sometimes it reads better when you say it out loud. You go, oh, okay, that's not as good. So then you got to do your own spin to it.
Yep, that's exactly how I was. But so Optimist, have you listened into anything with the stream so far? Or did you just come in with the tomatoes?
The tomatoes was literally the first thing I saw.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that sets the tone for the rest of the stream.
I finished washing my dishes. I ran upstairs. I said, let me get ready. And I said, let me tune in real quick to see what they're talking about while I get, set up. And I'm like, why are there tomatoes on this?
I'm still too sober for this.
What did you sober for this?
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, whatever.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Oh boy, anyone ever seen that the movie or the cartoons?
I saw the cartoon when I was a kid. Yeah.
Wait, they had a cartoon. They had a cartoon.
Yes,
they did.
It was on Fox Kids, believe it or not.
It came on before.
I'm not mad, just angry.
It was the lead into X-Men.
Rotten Tomatoes stop motion, but I have not seen any tomato movie.
Well, the funny story is, I mean, it was an obscure movie. Believe it or not, it gained traction again when it was used in an episode of Muppet Babies with Foggy.
Oh, yes.
And then they decided, let's make a sequel. And then Fox Kids said, you know what? It's not enough we have Bobby's World, Eat the Cat, Super Dave, Tom and Jerry Kids. Let's do a Rotten Tomato show. So
I've never actually seen the cartoon, but I've seen commercials for it. I'm just like, okay.
It was.
Well, they needed something before they discovered Animaniacs, Batman, X-Men, and Power Rangers to fill the void. The memories. Fox Kids, rocks kids.
Right. But
getting back to Tamagotchis though for just 1 second, it is the 20th year of the Digimon anime, anniversary-wise. Holy crap.
Yeah, I remember that. I only stuck around the first 2 seasons, and I'm one of those guys who when they say, "Oh, next season, oh, forget about the other characters," that was the first time I had to deal with that, and I just like not interested, and I have not looked back.
Funny you mentioned Digimon.
Oh.
I was reminded of this because earlier today somebody showed me a video because among my friends, people know I used to work for GameStop, and if you haven't been keeping up, they've been in the news lately. The collapsing stocks and actually,
I'm glad I never took a job there, and I just work at Cards at Shop right now.
That's you actually did the smartest thing ever by not working there. In all honesty.
It's supposed to be for Christmas anyway.
But I had worked there several different times, and I was there during the Pokemon, Digimon, Monster Hunter. They were all hitting around the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So of course you got the kids who didn't realize they were all separate entities.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
I want that Pokemon with the Digimon in it. Like
what?
You got
How do I
Digimon in
break
my
this to you?
Pokemon.
You got Digimon in my Pokemon.
Oh, and then you got and then Monster Hunter comes in. It's like, oh, here we go. I mean,
Oh,
shit! Here we go again.
Wait, Monster Hunter or Monster Rancher?
Monster
Rancher.
Rancher.
Excuse me. You're right. Yeah,
Monster.
Rancher.
Boy, did that have a dark ending initially for the anime.
It's amazing to me the animes we all started getting into, and we were like, "Wow, this is like not like any other cartoon we saw." And they're like, "Holy crap, it's dark!"
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's serialized too, like a comic book."
Yeah.
For the whole story. Ah, crap! They cut it off. They cut it off at 65 episodes. No, we won't know the ending. You cliffhanging punks.
I've told Eric this before, and I'll tell you guys this. I'm a Sailor Moon fan. I watched that show, and initially,
Hey, it's a good show. Don't worry, I love it.
I know, but I watched the dub from the very first episode. I started whenever the first time it aired. I forget which channel. I think it was. I don't remember what it was actually, but I remember watching it all the way up to the episode where they actually had Stan Bush's She's Got the Power and everything. And then it ended on a Friday. This is where they have the character of Rini find out everyone is the Sailor Scouts. And then after the weekend, I sit down to watch it, and it's the first episode.
You got Dragon Balled.
That's what happened to me with Dragon Ball.
Yeah. I know. But I was in tears because I never dealt with that. Sailor Moon was the first serialized show I watched, and I never knew about the 65 episode cutoff or any of that. I'm like, what's gonna happen next?
I only started realizing that when I was older, when I was starting to watch more reruns, and I'm like, wait, why do I keep seeing the same episodes of DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, and such, or He-Man, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a certain order?
Oh,
it's
I didn't mind. I caught
in a certain sequence, but then after 13 weeks, it plays them all again.
Well, I caught wind of that one beforehand, but it was never a case because there was no like ongoing linear narrative that led into the next. This was the first time for me, and to have it just not know what happened next.
I know that sucks.
Exactly.
I know. And then in Dragon Ball, we saw.
You go from.
It was heavily censored, and then once Funimation took over, all this
blood. Look at all the
blood all over the everything.
Vegeta.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, how many of us who watched like Dragon Ball Z back in the day were like, get to that episode, the next episode they preview Goku, the Super Saiyan, and then the next episode is Raditz. I'm like,
Yeah, that happened to me. I remember that exactly. It's like, wait, what's going on here? I want to know what's happening next.
Right, but I still I remember the big dramatic difference once they went from the Ocean dub, whatever, then going right into the Funimation dub. He's like, you see, like, Raccoon beat him up a little bit, but he still looked fine. And then you open up with a close up on Vegeta, all bloodied and everything. You're like, what?
Oh my god!
Oh, that is disgusting.
Yeah. They don't really. Yeah, in the Ocean dub. Well, Ocean dub and heavily edited for
right.
Obviously.
But
the next dimension.
You didn't realize how much Raccoon beat the shit out of Vegeta.
And then once they redid the original episodes, but the funny thing is, even when Funimation was doing up to the through the Cell Saga, they didn't get the full script still until by the time of the Boo Saga, so they were still winging it a few times.
Yeah.
But that's despite everything going on. I do not want to bring up the Vic stuff, but I will say this. there are times where I do not. I always give credence to like Chris Sabat when he would add stuff that he knows the fans are going to go nuts over. Like it took him forever, but he finally did to do it's over 9,000.
What, 9,000?
And so you gotta give. Say what you will about the man internally with the politics there. It does show that he's good with interacting with fans, which is a lot more than I can say for Schimmel, that's for sure.
Oh, well, Schimmel's a jerk, but yeah.
Yeah, but
Sabat,
Sabat, he
as far
is
as fan interaction, he's always been good with the fans. I mean, I can't-
exactly.
Yeah, Rob, you told me when he was going to voice Solid Snake for Death Battle, he was super excited to.
Oh yeah, he was from what he told me. And now that I remember when I was at a convention, and I didn't talk to Sabat himself, I talked to his aide. And about how like I have a friend, meaning Eric here, who wants to get into doing voice acting, but he's a weary of the politics and stuff. And she made it clear from what she's with Chris and all is that like, look, they're not going to force you to give your politics, all right? Don't bring it up, and you'll be fine. You can talk about other stuff, and basically, you know what I'm saying, right? And I'm just
Well, I've kind of eased up on that for a couple of reasons. One of them again is because it's just business. I just go in, do my voices. We act like a bunch of juvenile kids in high school, but not get in trouble for it. I could show up in my pajamas if I wanted to, and then I get my paycheck. And the second, of course, is they do have conservative friends in the industry that get that into. I mean, I look at Butch Hartman and the podcast he does. He's had Rob Paulson on, Tara Strong on, Vic on a couple times and such, and they just have fun and talk about their voices and talk about all the other crap they're doing. And then they just have a lot of fun. Speaking of which, if you're not seeing Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson, it is the best bang for your buck.
Well, that's the funny thing is that with when it comes with the funny thing about Butch Hartman is that he was able to get along so well with writer Steve Marmel. If you ever see his Twitter feed, it is the most vile left-wing.
The other funny thing is he's also friends with Seth MacFarlane, and we know how Seth is.
But Seth can still be cool about it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but they're still good friends.
I know. But I'm thinking about with Marmel. It's like, I don't know where Trump is politically, but you look at Marmel, it's just like, yeah, he's one of the worst.
It's kind of weird because they do. It's like they'll say like I don't want to say anything much about Danny Phantom, but because we have too much respect for each other about our future ideas and stuff.
Right, but it's just again, what does that say about this industry? That there's some people that are willing to throw under the bus, and others they're like, we got to protect at everything.
I call it the wolf pack mentality. If you're not running with the pack, you're hunted by the pack.
Guys, I took Monica right out. I'll just bring it up right now, deciding, oh no, I want him out of here.
It's a cutthroat industry. What can I say? Then again, the anime industry is very cutthroat in Japan anyway.
Good point.
Yeah.
As Katie would say right now, uh-oh.
Yeah. But and now that again, I just wish it's funny enough when we brought up before about where we could go if it's just Netflix. That topic came up. Is that when you have look at what happened with Evangelion on Netflix.
Oh, I heard about that.
Although, granted, to be fair, also Amanda Winley, who I used to have the utmost respect for, and now I just don't care anymore. The fact how much of a utter bitch she was, the fans are like, you complained about my writing stuff, and now you're actually getting someone that's true to the text. Fuck off! It's like, what the hell?
They take it personally. I don't know what it is.
Something broke in her.
Yeah, I mean, now I do know that Amanda Winley, if I recall right, her son actually had infant leukemia in around 2004, and she basically was not involved in any new projects for several years until by 2008 he's been cancer free. But who knows what that did to her? Maybe it made her reliant on government stuff and all that. Who knows? But
it can happen.
There's also one thing that breaks you. And then again, as I've learned, Hollywood. I mean, the more I learn about Hollywood, the more I'm glad I didn't want to be an actor, because it is a very assembly line, very slavish, very. And even if you're unionized, you could still get screwed into cutthroat in the industry. You enter it. It's like you enter in instead of becoming a star, you leave a broken person. It seems. And
right.
only the lucky ones who can afford plastic surgery and a lot of money leave happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, though, to be fair about Amanda Winley, she even admits, she does occasional stuff here and there, but she's not actively looking for work anymore.
still say a lot of them need doctors. A lot of them have come out as bipolar. Actually.
Yeah, what the heck's up with that?
Oh.
I saw somebody, I forgot who it was. I saw it earlier on my Twitter feed that had, I think it was the original voice actress for Elizabeth Ray from.
Oh, Ray from Sailor Moon.
No, from
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
Oh yeah, well, that was Amanda Wynn Lee with the original.
No. Okay, it was somebody. It was the other one. Then it was somebody else because that wasn't her. But she made a comment that she had watched this guy's video who was criticizing the new dub. Right. For Netflix. And she joked about how, like, for years people complained about her performance.
Oh, yeah, that was Amanda Wynn. I think that was Amanda Wynn.
No, it was not. It was definitely not.
Then there was Brianna Palencia as the current voice.
Yeah, but they said something. It's just like people criticize my VO for years, and it says apparently, and then she said now apparently people have problems with there's problems with the new dub, and kind of made a winky face, So
that was because I know Amanda Wynn Lee went F off. I guess this other person decided to be more coy about it.
More coy about it, more jokey, kind of.
That was probably Brianna Palencia.
That sounds more familiar. Yeah, it was definitely. I would have known it was Amanda Wynn Lee because.
Yeah.
I've seen too many of her. I'll put it this way: I've seen too many of her tweets to count.
Yeah, the funny thing with her though with her though, I loved her in Gunsmith's Cat and the original Read or Die. I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever seen any of those.
I saw one episode of Gunsmith Cats, and I saw a Read or Die video and a Madonna video.
Yeah, but she was on the original OVA, not the TV.
There you go.
But yeah, I loved, and she did some great stuff, especially as Rally in Gunsmith Cats. That is an anime. It's a short OVA series. I cannot recommend enough.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Where were you talking about the Gunsmith Cats OVA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I remember. You showed it to me.
Yeah, I know. And she was Rally. That was Amanda Wynn Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a very much an action movie anime because they have all the machine guns and car chases and stuff. I thought it was pretty awesome. Bingo.
Yeah, bingo. Again, just stuff about her that she was great in the industry, but now lately.
I always say the 10 miles of bad road analogy because that's what they become, 10 miles of bad road.
I think with the rise of social media too, it's just like people are able to just project their thoughts more than they say things that are just like, oh.
I will say this though. What gave me a lot of hope recently was after the stuff with Jim Cummings' ex-wife, how so many in the voice acting industry did not jump on the bandwagon.
Well, Jim's a nice guy. I think if they keep their mouth shut, they know he's innocent. The smart ones always keep their mouth shut.
Given everything else, they would have jumped at it just to ruin him because they knew where he was going politically. But no, they were like, nope, we're not going to say anything. We're just going to keep our mouth shut because we know his wife is cuckoo. We're not going to just join in, which I'm betting that's probably what his ex-wife was thinking.
I think they know Jim way too personally, having worked with them, actually met and interact with them, and taking Disney's probably like, who goes
reading
can we get to replace Winnie the Pooh at this point? What are we going to do?
Reading through that transcript of that court case was the most hilarious thing that I have ever done online.
Oh, I never read it.
Somebody get Judge Mills Lane on it. Now I'm sure you know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. Now let's get it on.
It would have been a better boxing match. In all honesty, it would have been more organized because this thing was hilarious.
Yeah,
I might have to check that out now.
Yeah, the accusations, from what I heard, were just so over the top. It's like,
she accused him of assaulting, basically
in front of the kids,
in front of the kids, and then said he would say to their daughter, "Well, you know how your mommy likes daddy's leakies." I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like. I think even they probably knew that.
That sounds like the words of a crazy person.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to get cups made that are called Daddy's Leakies.
There's already coochie cup.
There's already coochie cup, so now we need Daddy's Leakies.
Let's kickstart this shit.
Yeah.
But again, you just have stuff. Again, it just tells me how the voice actors show that there's a line they won't cross just for the sake of political virtue signaling.
Yeah.
That gives me hope.
The biggest thing, people need to calm down. In all honesty, the biggest thing, people need to calm the F down. I don't know how far I can go with cussing. I'm just gonna
go ahead. I'm not monetized or anything.
Okay. Well, they need to calm the fuck down. because
There you go.
Yeah, they do. They do need to calm the fuck down.
it's ridiculous. Like, I know you said you didn't want to go too much into the Vic stuff, and I don't want to either.
Yeah. Go as far as you want, but I just didn't want to bring up too much.
But it goes into that, and the case with Zach and all this other stuff. There, like Zach pointed that out perfectly in one of his videos. Being called stupid online, who cares? Right? You're called stupid, whatever. Being called a Nazi affects your work. Affects you can be able to get a loan. Affects your life. It's a big leap from being stupid to being a Nazi. It's a big leap from being handsy, like he might have.
He likes to hug people.
He liked to hug people to he assaulted me.
As Tug will put it. People keep on calling. People have been accusing Vic of being a P to the E to the D to the O. Yeah.
You don't say that word because you'll definitely never have a channel again. Apparently, because I had to. I think I used it in a title, and then somebody said you better change that title, so I put a 3.
Right.
So it was the P to the 3 to the D to the O.
I like that.
Yeah, but again, you have stuff like that, and it's just like. Wow, why are they going that far? It's just because they feel they're untouchable. That's why. They have these big egos and they feel like I am completely untouchable. I just have to say it and it's going to go my way. And again, when you have stuff like Mars Girl basically saying next we're going to go for Funimation next. But Mars Girl, I've lost all respect for her. I used to have some.
Kaylin has come a long way in that she's trying to moonwalk herself out of that situation as fast as she can.
Because she realizes.
Yeah. She
finally realized.
she made a statement the other day. Well, I never wanted Vic to get fired.
What?
Yeah. Literally, it said, I never wanted Vic to get fired. And I'm like, you literally have, and of course, people immediately started posting pictures of her tweets where it said, once he loses his job and his cons, maybe he'll learn a lesson.
Yeah, I don't. Let's not forget what the term "kick Vic" means in the first place. Where you're kind of implying that you want him to be fired.
Well, yeah, I made the hashtag, but I didn't really want anybody.
She was. I think Iron Liz put it best. She was addicted to the drama clicks.
Yeah.
After changed the channel.
Yeah, we lost it for a second there.
Oh, sorry, didn't realize we lost you. Sorry, Eric.
I stepped over my cord. I have my computer unplugged, and without a battery, it shuts down immediately.
Ooh, right.
But what I miss?
We were just talking about Mars Girl and how she's basically backpedaling.
Fuck you! I will not take, even though you made Great Land Before Time videos.
Yeah, again, it's just so many of these people. I mean, I know Alex has lost respect for Linkara and all that.
Actually, just recently, there's some more stuff going on with Brad Jones, and I'm kind of done with him too.
What happened?
There's some. I almost don't want to get into it because I don't want to get too crazy on it. But there's some more stuff going on with the change the channel stuff, and some of the things he's agreeing with his wife on. His wife recently lost her father to suicide, which of course, that's always horrible. Let me put that out there right now.
Yeah.
And and then I guess apparently during the the funeral, Brad got doxxed, and it was apparently from people who are fans of Obscurus Lupa, and she's putting the blame solely on Obscurus Lupa, even though she had no control over it. She clearly said she felt bad for her, and Brad's just kind of going along with it. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. It would be best to look it up just to get a full explanation of what's going on.
I had it up to my lip with everybody doxing everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, what the hell?
Somebody's going to get shot, and it's not going to be pretty.
Ooh.
And that though, I mean, I already know that Linkara, for example, when I looked up just recently, he's now completely bashing Doug.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, to the point of basically saying oh, no, fuck him, I didn't even get a, no, just complete silence. It's just jeez.
Wait, hold on. The same guy who ran to Doug Walker Mr. Teacher, they're saying stuff I don't like. I mean, remember, that's where the whole did you learn your lesson?
Yeah.
Hey, nostalgia critic, we're pals, right?
Ah, wrong guy, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, no, I was going to do the blooper. Yes, whatever your name is.
I know, but again, no, but it's how he's now that he's distant from Doug, he is just bashing him to all hell, and just cutting loose, basically pointing out like, I mean, he made a few fair criticisms, like pointing out how like Doug truly believes misery equals comedy, and only does, and he will find some way to connect it to misery. I'm like, yeah, that does feel like with Doug, and I can see why that could be annoying.
I actually look back and analyze that because I'm like, okay, in all the comedies I've seen, yes, mishaps happen. You laugh and others misfortune. That is a part of comedy. But I remember Roger Price, who created You Can't Do That on Television for Nickelodeon, said actually this comedy is actually based on shortcomings, which is why it's hard to write for a certain character, a certain kid, because they're just so nice. Like, what can we do to do it, but still keep them in character and still let mishaps happen to them without being a bully?
Exactly.
And believe me, the kids on You Can't Do That on Television, their characters anyway, were always mean and spirited to each other.
Right, and I would just say also, I'm still sticking around with watching Doug and Linkara stuff, because say what you will about with Linkara, personally, when you watch his stuff, the occasional Trump jabs notwithstanding, he doesn't let his politics get into his show, at least.
Yeah, separate the art from the artist. It's becoming true.
That's what I've always believed in, is separating the art from the artist. I mean, yeah, with comics gay stuff, that's why I'm always ducking my head if I'm going to do something with about Doug Tenopple or Tim Lim.
It's the other thing also when an actor says, hey, when they're getting harassed and shit, they say, we're not our characters. Remember that. The cosplayers are not our characters either. Don't harass them either.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been hearing some weird stuff about some cosplayers incidences going on lately.
Oh no, that's the kind of thing that
sorry.
That's the kind of thing that I kind of get afraid of starting to get more into cosplay and stuff.
Yeah, right. But Eric, you were telling me about with some people dressed up cosplaying as Adam from Ruby.
Basically, because he's such a hate sink of a character, some toxic parts of the fans have actually started harassing guys at conventions who are dressed as him.
Do people just not know how to separate the two entities?
No, they don't.
Apparently, there are a lot of people that don't know the difference between fiction and reality.
I was about to say that.
That's scary.
I saw a tweet that actually said that 2019 is the year of we cannot separate fiction from reality. I mean, if truth is stranger in fiction, everybody's living in their own imagination, and it's scary.
They're living in Wally World.
No, they're living in Clown World because everything's a circus.
I heard a cat somewhere.
One of my cats. He wants attention.
I say, if you want to know about cosplay stuff, Piper has done cosplay in between lusting after werewolves, so you may.
Yeah. What I can afford to.
On a lighter note of cosplay, here's what my dad and I always suggested. If we ever take Aiden to a con, that's my nephew, we would do one of two things. Either we dress as the Muppet Trio, like I'm Kermit, one's Gonzo, and one's Fozzie, or he dresses whatever he wants, like he'll be Darth Maul or the Heath Ledger Joker, but I dress as Ash, and my nephew dresses as Pikachu.
That's awesome.
Or Satoshi, since again we're talking dub versus subs. Pokemon, Dickostoya.
But I still say though, with just how the internet, the industry is getting these days in all fields, nothing is safe anymore. I mean, look at what anime is now starting to get affected.
I mean, Japan. On the one hand, Japan doesn't give a shit. On the other hand, you have Sony moving to California and the Sword Art Online guy actually trying to appease Americans. Again, it's small now. I think, but people are already afraid with the Tifa thing that give them an inchworm, they'll get taken millipede.
That's what got us to this point. Look at what happened with comics. It was just a few little things here and there, and now look where we're at.
Man, I still say I saw the warning signs once one more day happened.
Oh no! Don't get me started.
Oh, no.
I'm a Spider-Man fan. Don't worry, I feel your sympathy. Mary Jane is my OTP.
Yeah,
Black is mine.
You and Felicia, I swear.
She's the one that actually knows that, and that knows both sides of the mask.
Yeah. Yes, I
So
know.
does Mary Jane. She kind of married to him. I mean,
No. I mean, she's actually worn a mask and done her own thing behind the mask and knows that the
okay,
difference.
I get that. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
It's the
even Mark
Batman-
Millar
the Bat-
made a comment saying, "Don't be upset that she and I have more in common than you and I ever could." Of course, he's saying it in a way like he still chose MJ. That's what he's trying to say. But he's basically saying now that's clearly going through MJ's mind.
Like, it's the whole
well, one
Batman-
day when Black Cat sells her own marriage to the devil, then they'll be exactly alike.
Like, it's the whole Batman, obviously Catwoman and LG, but it's also Daredevil and Elektra. It's always that attraction. Like, we know both sides of, the personal life and the superhero life because I've been a superhero, anti-hero, thief, villain, former reformed villain, whatever you want to call me, but I still love, but damn it if I'll go straight for you. I'll go straight in things for you. I won't go straight in my sexuality for you.
Woo.
Even though we're already straight.
Whoa,
I'm
yeah.
going to be an LGBTQ icon, and I've gone cross-eyed. Abort.
Going straight in.
Yeah.
And the torpedoes full steam ahead.
There's no turning back now.
Oh,
That's what
I
she
think I
said.
went on my
That's
own.
what she said.
I just went on my own Eddie Murphy comedy routine. Hey man, you ever been to a barbecue?
Hey, speaking of, since I brought up a bit about
hey man, how about come on, not back as Mushu? Come on, put Mushu back. Even though
okay.
CGI.
What? Anyone see
Right?
the Mulan trailer?
Yeah,
I haven't really been paying attention, honestly.
I did.
Never.
I
Oh,
think
you did.
Yeah.
Actually, I've heard some people kind of like it.
If you weren't thinking it was a remake of Disney's Mulan, it would be fine. But the fact that they're marketing it as just a live action of Disney's Mulan makes it super disappointing.
So if it was another studio doing their own interpretation of Mulan, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If they were just calling it Mulan and doing their own version of the story, it'd be fine. But they're saying this is a live action of Disney's Mulan. So you kind of expect to see that.
Right.
Just a live action of Disney's Mulan. But they took out, there's no talking critters.
No cricket.
Yeah.
And for some reason, she's running around in her girl outfit almost all
Yeah,
the time.
I saw that in the trailer. What the heck?
Yeah, she only actually fights in
At the
her
end?
own clothes at the end, but they making it look like she's running through the whole movie almost like she wore the armor to get in there and then like immediately revealed herself or some shit. Like
Yeah, like let's how do we ruin all the tension? I know.
right? And then I guess at some point they decided they were fine with it. Yeah. They're like,
Oh
well,
boy.
this is, illegal and a really shitty thing to do, but
Yeah,
whatever.
you'd be executed, but whatever.
Yeah, they're just like, but you're hot, so.
Disney, are you feeling okay? Do you have a fever? You should be in bed right now. Alex, hey, but I'll say this, two things. Alex, at least with everything that's going on Disney, you will always have the Kingdom Hearts games and how they did it right.
Yeah.
Especially with toys.
That's very true. That's very true.
I wanted to bring up who's seen Toy Story 4.
Wait. I didn't get to my second thing.
Sorry.
My second thing is if they do not have what every 90s kid will know at karaoke night, I'm not seeing it. Let's get down to business.
Okay.
Sorry.
I have to ask.
Yep.
I have to ask.
Yes.
So, have we gotten to a point where Disney is now remaking the things they've stolen? Is that what's going on?
I have no idea. I mean, if they make another Simpsons movie now that they own Fox, I don't know.
Well, let's think about it. They remade Aladdin. They stole that. They haven't gotten to the older stuff yet. So when they start like remaking Snow White,
No, that's not necessarily true. They remade Dumbo.
Sleeping Beauty.
They remade Dumbo.
They remade Dumbo. Was it Lion King is coming up? So
They already stole that too.
Yeah.
Kimba the White Lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many people don't know about that?
Yeah.
There's many people who don't realize
The only movie.
that Kimba was a stolen property, or that the Lion King was a stolen property. They do not.
Yeah.
I say this. Hey, I'll say this quickly. If there's one of their anime movies I want to see them do, justice. It's Black Cauldron.
Oh, they'll never do Black Cauldron. They'll never do Black Cauldron.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
They'll get to the great.
movies that really deserve another time in the spotlight. Or another one I've heard is like Treasure Planet and Atlantis. Those ones that really deserve a second chance in the spotlight are never going to get made because no one remembers them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know-
They're just again banking on nostalgia.
Oh, and here's one thing: if they were to do a live action remake of Oliver and Company, who the heck do you think they'd get as Fagin?
That's a good question.
Yeah, something about an Oliver and Company remake would feel really weird to me.
I mean, they got Billy Joel the first time. What pop singer would they get this time around?
Yeah, but they'd have CGI dogs and all that.
Yeah, we already had that. Well, at least with real dogs. We had Homer Bound: The Incredible Journey. That was a good movie.
That was. No, we probably get more cats and dogs level.
How many times do we have to tell you we're trying to take over the world? Bad talking cats. Jeff Goldblum, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, listen, that's the chaos theory.
Okay, yeah, but
They'll get to the Great Mouse Detective. They'll try to make the Great Mouse Detective before they make Black Cauldron again.
Oh boy, they can never do that right. That can never be done right.
I know. No one else could play Radigan like Vincent freaking Price.
Vincent Price. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
I quote the Raven. Eat my shorts.
Getting back to the Muppets, your favorite moment is when Kermit goes to the teeth and bites him.
Yeah. Well, some comes easier than others. Ah!
Yeah, that was great.
No, my favorite joke's always going to be with Miss Piggy and Christopher Reeve.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Tell me, how did you get a job as Superman? Did somebody see you working out? Wahaha!
He's shirtless.
Yeah.
Well, muscle shirt, anyway.
A muscle shirt, but yeah, that was like, waha!
Yeah,
now I remember what I was going to say now.
Yeah.
Now, here's something I want to ask, and this is about going on with whatever's going on with Indiegogo comics in general, regardless if it's Comicsgate or not. What type of product, for any of you wondering and curious, would get your attention? Like, do you go in for who's involved, or you go in for if it's telling something good? Is it a mixture of the two? What do you go looking into something you're going to put your money down for?
It's a little column A and column B.
All right.
Like, I'd like. I mean, honestly, first timers, you're not going to see previous work usually,
Right.
But
yeah,
so that makes it a little hard. So I do like, what I like to do is, if I can, is try to interact with the person. Like what's I got? Von Klaus is doing the Dr. Monster MD. Like, the premise is really cool. I said that's a really cool premise. And that's something I would want to, talk to him about it, interact with him. What are his ideas behind it and stuff like that. We've talked, me and you, Robert, have talked about this offline. It's what even a name doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get what you would think, in your opinion. I'm talking about our opinion as a collective,
right?
You yourself, what you would consider like good quality. It's like, oh, they put a book out. Well, all right, it wasn't that great.
That's true. I mean, I've read this before.
Mm-hmm.
The best items I've seen were, I'll be honest, and I'll probably get some flack for this, were the ones that by people who have distanced themselves from Comicsgate have actually put out some of the better products so far that I haven't had an issue with, besides Lone Star. Lone Star is the only one that's still in Comicsgate that I'm like, I found very little to fault with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure how well or how Cyberfarm's going to go, but I tell you right here and now, I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't care what any fallout I might get is. I am going to be honest about, what I think about it.
Well, I've always when people talk about, Cyberfrog, I just say, with anything by Ethan, I'll be honest, you buy the art first.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And because that you cannot, unless you're a real hater, you cannot say that does not look great.
Oh yeah, no,
no
question.
Yeah, storyline wise, that's going to be up to the interpretation. That could be different. Remember, this is him writing it, so we don't, and he always says, "I'm not a writer," so, so you got to jump in that with that in mind, that he says he's not a writer. So,
well, at least he admits it, number one. Number two, I always say, if you have sometimes the art tells the story best. And I remember a quote that somebody says, you have to be a good storyteller. If you have a horrible story, if you have a good storyteller, the movie, comic, book, or TV show will still be entertaining. If you have a great take, if you have a bad storyteller and a great story, it's going to be one boring product.
Exactly.
And see, with Ethan, something like with EVS stuff, I like the ideas he brings up. Like I said, if it translates to the page when he's writing it, it'll be, we're yet to see, right? But most of the ideas he said, I was like, that sounds like a really good idea. Like when he talked about his composite story. I don't know if you ever heard him talk about that, but basically composites Batman, Superman. There was
the composite Batman.
And he literally said, I will make him Sinestro. That's how badass and feared he would be, right?
Yeah, and there's always potential in that concept.
Yeah, but then he had a storyteller, Gail Simone, who started the script off with a freaking debate between Lois Lane and Ann Coulter. I'm like, what?
What?
Pardon me? What?
Somebody telling me that he did that just to fuck with Ethan, I think.
I think so. I think because you got to, like I said, and like I said, he's writing this one, but look, when he's paired with Jeff Johns. Holy shit, right? Like one of the best. I've got my Rebirth, Green Lantern Rebirth over there.
Oh yeah, I still got mine.
The one scene that always gets me is when Cal gets, when he comes back, like really back to life, and he steps out of the coffin.
Oh yeah, the coffin.
Get the hell away from him.
Yes.
That's like, yes.
Exactly.
I'm just getting an image of the coffin slowly rising. Him.
Oh no, it's not like that. It's not like that.
Sorry. I was
literally the lid blows off.
And so it's Pirates of the Caribbean too when Jack Sparrow shoots the bird.
Pretty much, yeah. He blows the lid off and then he stands up and says, "The Sinestro, get the hell away from him." So it's like,
right. But again, like I said, he is an idea guy, and he's had some other good, decent writers and all that stuff. And so long as the artwork stays as more realistic one, because I'll be honest, sometimes his more toonier looking artwork, like when he did Impulse, it worked. Yeah. When he did it in other cases, it's like, ugh.
It's a styles clash.
It is.
And also, the thing is, and I'm just going to point this out. I'm going to use, for example, what's his name? Lionel Yu.
Oh yeah, Lionel Yu. Yep.
Lionel Yu.
Oh, Lionel Francis Yu. Yeah.
Yeah. He is a really good artist. If he has a bad colorist,
oh good lord,
it looks terrible.
He's also had a pairing with that other Segura. So the other guy who's always paired up with him because they have such similar art styles.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like when you look back at Secret Invasion now, it's like.
Like he did early on, he did like a Wolverine, like thing, and I hated the art. I was like, who is this fraud? Who is this idiot that they just got to squibble lines? And then I got Superman Birthright.
Oh, good lord, that was awesome.
And I'm like,
although that was the first. Good. I still say that's the first time you ever get a hint of what's been going on with Mark Waid.
Yeah,
that gun nut.
Yeah.
That was the first clear indication of like, we should have seen this. We should have seen it.
Yeah.
But you didn't see much of it at that point. But then you look back, you're like, wait.
It's hilarious to me that Mark Waid, the Mark Waid that we see today, right, is the same person who wrote the famous line from Captain America, you go take these guys over here, I'll go fight the army.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, the same guy is now this guy. Right.
I have right in my hand right now the Mark Waid omnibus, the one that collected his pre and post Heroes Reborn.
Mm-hmm.
That was such good stuff.
Oh yeah, because that led into like when he lost the shield and like the first issue, and
then you had that issue that focused on the Red Skull, and they have both versions in this.
See, that's what I don't get. I was like, like late '90s, early 2000s, Waid was really on point. Like,
this Fantastic Four run. How does he go from that to?
Well, again, no, I think Birthright shows that was always there, but I think it was a case of, again, he just probably felt like, oh, I'm making my like back then with Birthright, it was bad, but not that bad, and not that socially acceptable to be that bad.
Yeah.
Outside of that one little moment he slipped in. Nowadays, it seems to be socially acceptable to be that bad, but now it's biting him in the ass.
He's enough. He had editors. That's the other thing. He had editors.
Oh yeah, it's like exactly. It's like with what's the guy's name? The guy doing Mark Russell, the guy doing Wonder Twins lately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, when he did Flintstones and the Snagglepuss Chronicles, he was good. I mean, he slipped in a few political jabs here and there, but for the most part, he kept things balanced because he had a good editor.
Yeah.
Oh, they're looking to exit. Stage left.
Yeah, and even that, you have a gay Snagglepuss set in during the McCarthy era, but it worked.
It's like one of my and I don't think y'all might know the story, but you ever hear of the story that Mark Waid was called Irredeemable?
Hell, Irredeemable is so awesome.
It was such a good book. And
this ending was so poignant.
Yeah, it's like, is somebody cooking?
Is someone microwave?
Who's making some mac and cheese?
Who's making SpaghettiOs first?
It's the other whammon in the call.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean though. Irredeemable and Incorruptible.
Those were good books.
Yeah,
they were really good. Like
his Incredibles run.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I have some of those magazines.
The Irredeemable and Incorruptible were so good because it switched the paradigm.
Yeah,
it was like a real yin and yang story. It's like, okay, when yin becomes yang, then yang has to become yin.
Exactly.
Right?
And I loved it. With Incorruptible, he has this girlfriend named Jailbait.
yeah.
Her name is Jailbait. She literally is Jailbait. And once he has this change of heart, it's like,
yeah,
she's like, wait, what's going on here? Go.
What was that you said earlier, Optimus?
Oh yeah,
PEDO.
That's the character's name.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but there was a character named Jailbait, and it was basically, heavily implied that he was, yeah.
Before the first issue, anyway, beforehand, and she was confused. She was basically his Harley almost.
And then, he's having this transition that because he's the bad guy, right? And he is I forgot the name of the other guy.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Yeah, but he was he was the only one on that planet who could stand toe to toe with him.
Exactly,
right?
well, because he basically the longer he stays awake, the stronger he gets. The Plutonian, and the bad guy was Max Damage.
Max Damage, yeah. So he was the only one who could really stand toe to toe with this guy. So when the script flipped and the Plutonian became
the bad guy, he went nuts.
Yeah, he went totally nuts because he got that pootie tang, and that was enough to.
Yeah,
it was more to it than that, but that was.
That
was a big part of it.
I think we get that.
Yeah. And then when Max Damage he sees what's going on, and he basically convinces from other people and himself, you're the only one that can stop him.
And in fact, it led into a crossover, which led into the finale.
Yeah, it was a good story, and Mark Waid wrote the whole thing. It was great.
Both books, yeah, yeah.
And then what happened? Mark Waid, what? I mean, it sounds like Mark Waid's always been a jerk.
He was always been an asshole.
Yeah, but he was just good at hiding it.
Except when or other people were willing up to cover for him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole story of him crying in the middle of the floor at CrossGen. It's just, was it CrossGen that he did that at? It was one of those places. It was one of the smaller publishers.
I just realized you and I are kind of dominating Optimus.
Oh yeah.
All I'll say about these people is that I'm still thinking three things. It's a mix of depression. A lot of some mental disabilities. They never got diagnosed with kids, and they all take therapy with alcohol. That's the best thing I can say about these people.
Right.
Just like Piper
at this point.
What?
But
No, I do therapy and alcohol.
No, I do.
Oh.
Okay, guys, when I say that, just like Piper, I see if she's paying attention. That's why.
It's all a test.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, everyone. We're sorry. We got carried away here.
Yeah, the rookie's actually heading out.
See you, rookie. Sorry, we didn't give you much to talk about. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I will remember the tomatoes.
Okay, yeah, that will be August 9th will be the release. I'll be talking about that a big time. I have Robert and other people that are in it. Come on.
Yep.
So
Yes, please.
Can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it.
all right, later, guys.
Later. So again, I'm sorry about all that. Didn't realize we were getting carried
because
away.
I was trying to say too, because I'm kind of different. Like I don't really follow like when it comes to Indiegogo or Kickstarter. I'm more about the video games, and I think with me, it's kind of like you gotta. When it comes to me, it's like I want to choose what sort of I feel resonates with me, and I think like you have to put yourself out there, and like
Yeah.
sometimes even if it's a big name, it's not going to always work. Like there are plenty of examples of that.
Mighty number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of just have to look like what are the kind of games I'm into, what are the sort of mechanics I enjoy, or like does this look like I have a story I want to get lost in for a couple hours?
Yeah, and even if you are like a big name, you still kind of have to put yourself out there. It's not like, oh, I'm this guy. I made Mega Man, so give me the
He
money.
didn't make him. He made him what he is, but he didn't design him.
Yeah, I know.
Although you know what, there was one game. It would never happen, but I would so want to see made get the Indiegogo treatment to make a definitive version of. Again, never gonna happen.
Just say it.
A Bobo's a Big Adventure.
Nice.
Anyone ever played that or seen about it?
Oh yeah. It was
It's like
Piper, have you?
What was it?
A Bobo's Big Adventure.
See, I'm thinking because that one sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
Okay,
It's
it's a kind of a. It started off like you play, the person like a Bobo's son gets kidnapped,
a
right?
Boboy.
A Boboy. And so he basically goes on a Double Dragon style adventure where he has to rescue his son, but he ends up going into other video games.
And
Oh, no, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and a Bobo's the character. He's that big, like, bulky guy from Double Dragon.
Yeah, with the bald head and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, I would love to see him do an Indiegogo to make a definitive version, but never gonna happen because of the rights.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You'd have to have like I don't know how many millions of dollars just for the rights alone.
Yeah, because that sounds really fun. I did not play that. No.
No,
it's still a great game you can actually play. It's online, but I'm just saying
it was a fan made game.
Yeah, it was fan made, kind of like that Streets of Rage remake.
Yeah, where everybody is like, hey, you want to play a Sonic Streets of Rage? Fuck it here.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's like
honestly, God bless modders and fan creators because that stuff is amazing.
Oh,
I know. It makes you laugh, and then you're really like,
Streets of Rage 4. I cannot wait for that.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
A Blaze, good lord, they better not fuck up Blaze.
They say Blaze, my baby girl.
she's looking pretty good right now.
The
So
lady in red.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be an actual sequel. So you're like, oh wait, she looks good for her age.
Yeah. Maybe it takes.
It could be a sequel to and say in 1990 XXX like.
Yeah, figure that out.
In the year 200.
Yeah, but it's just gonna be just those two. No Adam. No. I gotta say, I like 3.
Really?
I would love to see Rue back.
Yeah, I like 3.
Yeah, the problem with 3 is once it got sent to America, it was really, really hard.
Yeah.
Thankfully, in the Xbox or the PS3, the 3 versions you can get, or Steam versions you can actually adjust the difficulty. So I'm like, good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I played a bit of it. I remember liking it.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 is your favorite, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do love Streets of Rage 2.
That one I say is the good counterpart to Final Fight by Capcom.
I just read something else. Funny enough, when it comes to going to Capcom for a second, you know what one character they have that I'm surprised has not.
Who would? I hear a Capcom fangirl.
No, I'm sorry. Scary things made me.
No, you got to understand Piper. Okay, let me explain Piper. Okay? she never pays attention to what's going on. Okay.
Yes, I do. My mouse just died, and it made me
I
sad.
hate that.
Yeah.
That's what scared you.
No. Oh, and something fell on me.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Well, that might be more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that might be a little bit of a better explanation, you think?
Yeah. No, I was
Right.
distracted by my mouse
No, I thought.
no longer working.
Yeah, but like I was
right.
saying though is that with but yeah, with Capcom, the one character they have that I'm surprised is not blown up again, given recent events and how everyone is Poison. I'm surprised it's still falling on the radar with certain groups.
She
Yeah, I
gets
don't
dragged up.
Yeah, you
and
cannot get
freaked
away
out
with
about.
poison today. At least the explanation the Japanese.
Yeah.
Dude, you read what you just said, Eric? Drag. She gets dragged. Who said drag?
I didn't say it. No, I'm
Piper.
saying.
Wait, who said it?
Piper.
Oh,
She
you
gets
did?
dragged out every once in a while for
Drag.
people,
No,
for
I was
people to
saying
freak out
that,
about and then put back.
I know.
I
I'm
was just
surprised
saying that
though.
the
Right, currently it's not huge.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that all I'm saying is that Japanese dev could not get away with this explanation today, or if he did, he would still get blasted on
Oh,
Twitter.
he removed it when he did one.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And then they turn him into what gets me is all the bad guys are named after rock stars. Axel and Slash, Billy and Sid, Poison and Roxy. I'm like, guys, you're explaining MTV in 1989 when I was 4 years old that I actually enjoyed now today.
Hey, remember in Mega Man X6, I believe they had all the villains named after Guns N' Roses people because she just forgot her name. Allison Court, who was the voice director at that point, Claire and Jubilee and all that. She was the voice director there and the translation person. Her then husband was a huge Guns N' Roses fan, so she just tossed it in. They've since removed it with the recent collection, but
well,
still.
Wait, what game was it?
One of the Mega Man X games, 5 or 6.
So they were named like Axel, Slash,
Yes.
Dizzy, Duff, Steve, Matt, Dizzy.
Yep, after everyone from Guns N' Roses.
There was probably not a Buckethead one, sadly.
I think there might have been.
Because Buckethead was once a guitar player.
Oh no! Oh no! You're right. Oh yeah, Buckethead.
Or
Boy, that guy has taken off again, hasn't he?
Especially when when John Romero released the 5th episode of Doom.
Oh yeah, Sigil.
Sigil. Yeah, because I've been listening to Buckethead lately. He's really good.
Yeah,
but I'm surprised he's been able to keep himself so his identity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious though because he wears like the KFC chicken bucket.
I know.
And he literally wore when he did stuff with Guns N' Roses. He literally wore it still there. He's
dedicated. It's like the guys in Slipknot with all their masks and stuff. For when Kiss still had to wear the makeup in public before they unmasked on MTV.
Right.
It's to keep the mystique and everything. It's kind of it's amazing.
Now here's a different question when I ask is, because I went looking through the Tim Lim recently done stuff, Wall Might and Trump Space Force and all that, and then compared to say the AOC comic, when it comes to political satire, what do you guys feel makes political satire work, and when it doesn't?
Jon Stewart.
What makes political satire work is when it goes. It's got to be. It's got to take what's real, and just expand upon that, right? Because for example, I remember, I'm an old man, so I remember the 80s.
I just barely remember the 80s. I was a baby at the end, but I do remember the Berlin Wall falling down and Bush getting elected and the early years of Nickelodeon. So
yeah.
When they satirize like people like Reagan and the first.
Oh yes, Reagan.
It reminds me of that puppet show Spinning Image. Goody two shoes, Betty Bow's time again. Good night, Nancy.
Yeah, the whole joke was that of course Reagan was an actor back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
That darn monkey.
So the satire was to make made fun of that, like with something like Trump Space Force, and like I said, that's if you like it, it's fine, I don't care. But going like when he says Space Force, so okay, I want to make a book about a Trump Space Force. That's funny, right? That's hilarious. Trump being All Might, that's hilarious because I'm sure it was just a coincidence that All Might looked almost exactly like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Wall Might's his name.
Wall Might and All Might. I'm just saying Wall Might, All Might. How they kind of, and that so that's a good satirization. The AOC book was literally just like a sucker off book.
Right.
She didn't have adventure.
Or was it just like kind of mean spirited almost?
Oh, yeah, it was. I read it. It was
mean spirited. It was very self-elaciating. Look how great she is.
That part needs to actually be kind of funny.
Well, that's why
I think satire needs to actually be kind of funny.
Yeah, if they satired her to saying that, like, she became Lady Liberty and she started giving shit away, that would be funny.
Well, that was the other parody, the parody of the parody, where they were starting to do stuff like that. But then in the AOC one, it's basically like, I could do no wrong. And the thing is, though, when they do it in Wall Might, for example, where he's completely invincible, but it's like, that's the joke because it's playing off of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
When he's doing it in Trump Space Force, it's like, oh, turns out and so many of the Democrats are aliens, the CNNs.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that sounds funny.
It does. That's the
it's
thing.
just taking it to the extreme, which is what you do with when you
Yeah,
satire.
because it sounds like you're kind of looking at it from his mind and what he sees too, and you're kind of like, okay, that makes it sound funny.
And what makes it, but one thing I actually liked was he didn't have to be Obama was an alien. He had to be Michelle was instead.
Oh my god!
What tells you right there, like, okay, he didn't go too far overboard with it. He's like,
it reminds me of those. It reminds me of when Chris Rock first talked about Michelle Obama. It's like the black, like, a black woman would never allow that to do it. It's like, honey, I'm going to be president. No, we's president. All my girlfriends are going to be part of the cabinet. You understand?
Yeah.
But it's insane that an 8-year-old could do AOC better than this comic book.
Speaking of AOC, do you want to, because that the cover?
Yeah, the one
Pipe already knows
that got
taken.
taken.
See, I said it. Pipe already knows where I'm going with this.
What?
I'm going to screen share. I'm going to show you an edit that our friend.
Oh, I gotta see this. Hold on.
Did this? Let me get.
Let me set you to present to everyone. Hold on.
Okay. Let's see.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. And share. All right.
Oh my god.
New party. Udist.
Yeah. In the background.
Yeah. Well, see, that part is like part of the actual thing. So we put her, we made her a communist. As you can see, she's got the hat. She's got the little hat on. We
That's
put the
perfect. That is perfect.
We put the Kremlin in the background instead of the Capitol because.
I think Ingrid wants to leave.
So what?
You gotta get going, girl.
Yeah, I'm kind of running a bit out of steam, but it's been great shooting the breeze with you all.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
No props.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
And then there was 5.
Yeah.
We're the 5. No, you guys be the 4 horsemen. I'll be the manager. Whoa! Bright lights, big cities. What's AA? What's cars and all that?
Yeah, but
now I love that my nephew knows what Ric Flair is because his baseball coach says, "Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair." Whoa!
Right, but again, but it feels like with so many of these political quote unquote satires or these stand-ups, it's like they just think, say this bad thing. No. That's
Here's
not a joke.
And
George Carlin got it right.
Oh yeah, can't say. There's always this thing about the things you're not supposed to say. In this internet age, that speech brings up more than ever. At this point, I'm thinking a rape victim is going to be called an unwilling sperm recipient.
Oh,
jeez.
But the way
I remember his stand-up where he did about talking about, you mentioned the rape thing where he was talking about rape and he goes, they said, well, rape's not funny. He said, rape can be fucking hilarious. Watch this. Imagine Porky Pig raping Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, that's right.
How was you thinking Elmer had it coming?
Oh, double joke.
And then he says, why do you think they call him Porky?
Oh, man.
But again, and he's right. He was right. It can be funny.
No, I love his stand-up. He's pretty on point. He's an intelligent man, but he again uses the lowest common denominator, but then heightens it, and it's that's the thing I've noticed also with comedy when it comes to satire. You got it exaggerated to the point where it's so ridiculousness. You're glad it isn't true. And that's what makes you feel good because you can look at this and say, "Wow, I thought my life stunk. It's a good thing I'm not these guys." And I think my first exposure to political satire was, well, I'll tell you 2 things. One was The Simpsons. It was right around season 6. They did Sideshow Bob Roberts with Sideshow Bob. And the other was the Treehouse of Horror, which did the Bob Dole, Bill Clinton debates, but they replaced them with Kang and Kodos. That was also pretty good.
What happened to us Kodos?
Yeah,
I remember that. Because in the end,
sure, throw your vote away for some.
That's it. That was it. That's a great lesson to learn. Never throw your vote away.
And the funny, because I remember at the end when everybody's enslaved, and then Homer said, "Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos."
That became a shirt. I've seen it as a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's brilliant. But the other is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They had the
couple.
They're political touch-up. Hello, I'm a liberal and I'm a conservative. That's the problem with you, man. You're morons and you're too married to me. Don't remind me. Well, this is a reminder that when you mix in the worst qualities of an elephant and a donkey together, you get a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Again, the fact that they're married and yet saw about you, just like, I'd hate to be their marriage counselor.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that, but you know, nowadays if they did that, they would swap the gender. That would be the male's the conservative, the woman's the liberal.
Well, that's
It's
true.
the reason that they were basing it off real life, right?
Yeah.
There is a what was her name? There was two. One guy he actually worked for the Clinton campaign, and the woman actually worked for the Bush campaign, right?
Oh.
And they ended up getting married.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, they're actually married to this day. And they said, so how do you get along? He said, we do not talk about politics at home.
That's the
Smart.
three things to never talk about with your spouse: politics, religion, unless you're the same religion, and Tales of the Great Pumpkin.
I remember this one joke. It was an old issue of Superman, and it was a point where it was early on, but pre-Lois finding out. But there was a point where he's talking to Mom and Pa about things, and Ma just starts saying, like, you know, they bring about Lana. It's like, that Lana's held the torch for you for years. And she just gets all wound up, and then she walks off. To which Jonathan says, son, there are three things you do not have at a table: religion, politics, and all girlfriends. I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that.
But again, I miss, oh boy, talk about Superman. What does it say that Frank Miller has gotten Superman, and at the same time when you have Bendis working on him?
I'm just surprised Miller has actually got his sanity back.
Oh yeah, it took him a while to find it.
Hey, he got it all out. He got all the hookers and whores out of his system.
Yeah. I maybe just switching from Batman to Superman is what he needed in the end.
Well, yeah,
Maybe.
Superman inspires hope. I don't know what it is. I mean, when
Exactly.
when Garth Ennis, who doesn't like superheroes, this is why he works on the Punisher, can still do a good Superman. And
Yeah, he loves Superman. It's
loves Superman. That's all I need to hear about that.
I know. What does that tell you? Garth frickin' Ennis, the boys, Garth Ennis, still holds a soft spot to Superman. It's like, how many creators out there from the all the way up through even the early 2000s still will say Superman is the pure good?
It's like, yeah.
Nowadays, oh hell no.
That is a good point. And one of the things that I've always that I say that's excellent is that I forgot who it might have been. It was either Ethan or Zach. It was one or the other, but they made a great point. When you see Superman show up, right, in the comic, and it's also, I got this. When he shows up, you know he's got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even if he doesn't have to tell you what to do, but I'm more looking like this. I look like this. If Superman shows up, everyone just starts standing up, right? Because they're like, he's here. Things are going to happen. Even if he doesn't have to say a word, you know that once he's there, he doesn't even have to take charge. You just know things are going to be okay.
And also, he's going to do it with a smile on his face.
Exactly. Unless he's angry. But
he's angry, but
no, if he's angry, red eyes take warning. If he smiles, it brings me back to whenever the cartoon or Christopher Reeve would look in the camera and wink at it. And I'm like, right back in my childhood, man.
Yeah, I mean, heck, what is all to say that Mark Millar is a huge Superman fan to the point where after Man of Steel came out, he started to be less cynical.
Yeah. Wow. That's this is Mark Millar we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look at Superior. That's one of my favorite of his indie books. And it was basically, what if you took the bit of Superman and Shazam, add in a little bit of a monkey in an astronaut suit who's actually a demon wanting to trick a kid into giving a soul?
Sure, let's go.
No, it was well done though. To the point where I love to see that as a movie.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it got to the point where you actually have Superior is an actual movie and comic and all that. The actor in there became washed up and everything, but when it came to the big climax, when they're like, "Where is Superior?" he walks up saying, "Hey, this is the actor saying this." Like, "Hey, I'm right here." Checks him out like, "You're the actor." But the fact is, though, at the end, that helped restart his career, and the guy became, instead of being this all like, yeah, I'll do it again, they're like, nope. Superior actually gave me a compliment. I stood up to do what was right, and he felt confident again. It's like, again, things like that, you're just like, again, it was a Superman XP, but the same rules apply.
It still inspires hope. You can turn Superman in Red Sun into a communist, and it'll still inspire hope.
Well, he's still Superman, though. It's not like he's, I I'm evil. No,
he was still
No.
doing it for the right reasons.
Exactly.
Right? It may have been the wrong ideology, but it was still the right reason.
It's truth, justice, and freedom. That's what he believes
Exactly.
in. And
Even-
It's something that like I think we could all like learn from.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
even Masterman, the German, Nazi version of him, is still like he's still doing what he thinks is right.
And then you got the British Superman who.
Oh, good God! You saw my review of that, did you? Did
We
you see
read
my
it one-
review of that?
I did a we did a Piper. When did we do that? It was like a year ago now,
I
wasn't it?
think so.
Yeah, we did a whole reading of it, and we were like, yeah, what was going on here?
John Cleese, what were you thinking? Kim
Yeah.
Hunter.
And I love, I love John Cleese. What were you thinking?
Well, he
thinking?
just did the plot, from what I understand.
Now, I do like the idea of Superman like thinking I'm going to solve the money
the three
crisis.
impossible tasks.
Yeah, I'm going to solve the money crisis. I'm just going to make a bunch of diamonds. It's like, yeah, but if you make a bunch of diamonds, it's worth less than coal.
And that was
You know,
fine,
like-
because, like, basically,
Yeah, absolutely.
They made him so incompetent. It was like, okay, what?
That was I do believe that's self-deprecation for the British, because that's John Cleese saying like, yeah, we're stupid, lol, kind of thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you don't
but-
want to do that with Superman. And then you just
Mhm.
had to get to the point where, you're going to make this Perry White X become so powerful and own everything. It's like, how the hell did that happen?
Optimus, what you just said about the British explains all British humor to me. Especially since we're talking John, because I love Monty Python. I thought, this Superman is no more. He has ceased to be.
Exactly.
He has morphed back and gone on to be the bicycle repairman.
Oh,
It was
bicycle
literally-
repair.
Because I was watching before dinner, I was watching The Simpsons, and there was a line that was the one where Lisa became she wanted to be a veterinarian, but she literally wanted to save every animal. And
Oh,
She is a dual vegetarian, so why not?
yeah, and so the
well
guy,
intentioned, but
the guy who was the the vet was a British guy, and he made a comment after the animal died, and he said he said you got to realize that death is a part of life, just like when just like the British Empire, he used to own half of the world and then lost it and then just forget it happened.
I'll never understand why part British humor actually has every one of them being a historian and using their past to present humor.
Yeah.
It's all about
which back to counts for one quick second.
Yeah.
The Optimus. I don't know if you saw any of my tweets saying that I got my own copy of the Heroes Reborn Omnibus.
I saw that.
Yeah. And I gotta say, Jim Lee's Fantastic Four was the best thing out of all that.
It was so good. Like you could see Jim understood
Oh yeah.
kind of what they wanted to do.
Even
Nobody
the
else
Iron Man
did.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, the Iron Man like suit design, but story good, right?
Yeah.
The Captain America was yeah.
Oh yeah, and in Avengers, only when Simonson took over.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing was, it's like they had Thor, and then you found out that Thor was an android. So
Oh no, he
it was
wasn't
a
an
real
android, he
Thor.
just wasn't real. He wasn't the Thor.
Yeah, he wasn't a real Thor. He was just like, what's going on?
And I love how he said more Z's and nows. Walt Simonson played that up, and then when the real Thor showed up, he's like, "I don't know why you talking that way."
Yeah, it was just kind of funny.
I mean,
I know.
it's like you talk like that rarely. I mean, I'm starting from the beginning, and I'm reading all the comments, and I'm like, okay, when did Thor did he start speaking more Shakespearean?
Yeah, but-
I mean, I know parodies do that all the time. Like, I verily, is that a yes? I very okay. Let's continue.
I know, but I'll say this though. Give me that Captain America over Onslaught Reborn. I'm still working on that video, but good lord, did you read that?
No, I didn't want to.
Basically, the only way I can ever justify the continuity snarls is that, well, given how the heroes became the 616 heroes again, this globe was basically Franklin recreating on the fly the Heroes Reborn universe. Since there ain't no counter Earth is still out there, not in this globe. He basically recreated it quickly, and thus why there's so many inconsistencies. That's the only explanation I can give.
All this power in one little 4-year-old boy. All right,
Is he still 4?
And then again, like 5, 6.
I think he's older now since the time skip for him.
And then again, and it down the line, Galactus will be his hero. So what of it?
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing is Galactus in Heroes Reborn was still Galactus. It wasn't Galactus.
Yeah, that's when I like takes on alternate
I mean,
realities.
Galactus wasn't bad. Ultimate Galactus wasn't bad, just weird.
Yeah, I like the takes on realities where it's close enough to like the one
Mhm.
but changes enough.
I mean, the Ultimate started out that way.
Yeah.
Then it became
exactly.
too much like the mainstream universe, and then they were like, "Oh crap, what do we do?"
It's like, they had the Galactus, right? And then they
Yep.
brought in a real Galactus.
Well,
and it's
that was a great story. That was a great
yeah,
story.
it was a good story, but I'm just saying it's like they went, one to the other, killed every X-Men, it seemed like.
Oh, gee, you mean was during Ultimatum?
Yeah, Ultimatum, yeah.
Oh, geez, poor Wasp.
What about poor Wolverine? Just gets blasted by Cyclops until he's like nothing.
And Iron Man, thanks to Magneto.
Yep.
Well,
yep.
Blame Jeff Loeb.
Oh God,
he lost it after losing his son. He lost it.
Yeah, he did a lot of bad storylines for quite a bit.
Oh, I know. I mean, his Superman Batman was I think his last great stuff was Superman Batman. And Hulk was good. I would still say his Red Hulk, when you look back at it now, was good. Really damn good.
There was some things I didn't like was him punching the Watcher. And he's I was thinking that's a good sight gag. I thought, that's just a sight gag. For the. To be fair, then you find out later on he's using that. I punched the Watcher. I was like, no, that's dumb.
Yeah, but then Jeff Parker actually utilized that to a good effect when he took over. Yeah. He actually had to be the Watcher, then went somewhere else, and then found this Omega device thing. And because the energies from the Red Hulk were on him, the Omega being sensed it because it can't sense the Watcher. So he decided, I'm going to Earth to destroy this Red Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And it also made for a brief time Uatu being a bit more bloodthirsty.
Yeah. Well, when you get punched by some, loot noob, you're like, wait, what's going on here? And then
he killed the freaking Game Master.
He probably deserved it.
Hey, Optimus.
Wow. Rude.
Yeah,
you don't like the Game Master?
He's fine. I don't care. I'm just making a joke.
You mentioned Optimus. You mentioned Wolverine getting blasted. All I'm thinking right now is those Flash cartoons, and he said, "I died once, and Wolverine's died."
Oh, I lost count. Floating hand animation.
I know. I don't remember a thing before the 70s.
Yeah.
But
oh God, did Lockheed die?
Yeah, it's a funny thing, but again, the only downside about the Heroes Reborn omnibus is, of course, they don't have the last 4 issues.
Oh, because those are Wildstorms, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They had because they had a crossover with
which was a side effect of the Galactus stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, Heroes Reborn never mentioned it. It is mentioned.
Yeah.
Hello,
Rob.
Rob, you there? We've lost Robert.
I mean, that was.
I think he was really disappointed by those last words.
I don't know.
He needs a moment of silence to just. God, why did I bring that up?
No last 4 issues. That's what I go through looking online. Like Alex, I told you this because of our Pokemon fits. We're trying to find the Electric Tail Pikachu. We can't find that last volume in scans. We can't find it anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
How many were there?
There were like 4 volumes, I think, or 5. I'm not sure.
I've seen a little bit of it, but a bit of it. It's an interesting take on the.
It is an interesting take, and because it's a manga, it's allowed to be a bit more violent and stuff than the show. No, and show a couple of things. It's just bizarre. It's hard looking at it now. Like now saying yes, this was a thing.
Oh my God, there's 2 of him.
What the hell?
I had to switch over.
Dude, you're evil twin.
I had to switch over to my phone.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and I can't drop this one out, of course, without closing the whole stream. So I don't know why my headphones just stopped working.
So weird.
Yeah,
I was going to say, this is about to become a Grade 0.5 stream. What's going on here? Yeah.
Or maybe you know what? We're talking about multiverses. Maybe this is an alternate Robert.
Maybe.
Oh no, it's the mirror universe. Where's the Spock with the goatee so I can punch him?
No. It was Kirk that was the bad one.
That's right.
That was one of the bad.
Yeah.
No, Rob, you have your beard right. The regular Rob has his beard. So are you the shaven Rob then?
Yeah.
No, Alex. It's the we ripped him off, but now we don't know which Cartman is which to send back to the alternate dimension.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly.
I just went to a really obscure episode of South Park where he kept saying hella good, hella stupid, hella.
Yeah,
shut up with hella.
Now, I was just going to say this. One other thing, I think the other thing with Heroes Reborn is you got to always wonder when you look back is, where did they decide, the thing isn't going to last? Because when you look back at issue number 6 of Captain America, where he met Cable, and you had other issues where they actually had crossovers already, it's like, did they already know going in that it wasn't going to last, or?
I think they knew it was going to be a short run. At least those 12 issues like they talked. I think it. If I remember correctly, wasn't it delayed too? Like it got delayed.
It was delayed a little bit, and I think they were going to it was expected to be constantly ongoing, but again, then Rob Liefeld, yeah.
Liefeld, Captain America man boobs for the win.
Has anyone ever seen the image of someone did of what he had to have looked like shirtless? And it is one of the most brain bleach needing images.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he makes fun of himself for that now. I mean, jeez.
Well, sometimes. Other times he will be like, nope, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. Like Shatterstar. He's like, nope.
Rob's a little temperamental. Like some days he's just like, LOL, yeah, I'm a bad artist, whatever. And then some days he's just like, how dare you?
I know how to draw my feet.
He's finally gotten the hang of it.
It's the insufferable genius mentality. It's like between insanity and genius. It's hazy.
It was like the other night I was watching because I stay up late, so I was watching John Malin's live stream, and he was drawing a thing for Flying Fortress. Yep. And I'm the only one who pointed out, said, guys, this freaking Malin picture has feet. They're like, oh my feet.
I can't stake this. This is impossible.
Wait, there's feet? Get Quentin Tarantino on the phone. We got
oh boy.
No. At least it's you're expecting maybe.
Granted, she had shoes on, but they were still feet. I mean, right. Showing the feet. It was like something like I've never seen this in a Malin drawing.
Wait. No, they have 3 toes like the Flintstones. Somebody got to do a recount.
It's kind of like the joke because I think with Mike Miller's doing the whole monster.
Yeah. The Monster Hunt.
Monster Hunt, yeah, and he was drawing. God, you probably know Robert because you've read you read Graveyard Shift, the Frankenstein style.
I don't remember his name, but I'm blanking the name right now, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So Miller was drawing that character, and of course he shows him, and he has he's shaded over his his groin area. And so Malin and everybody was like, why does my character have no junk?
Oh, there could be many different answers for that.
Yeah, he's equipped like a Ken doll.
It's like
exactly. I was thinking that.
They said that Mike is so broken from Ethan's jokes, the whole hey Mike jokes, that he made him look like at phallic things. It's like, hey Mike, look at this swimming pool, Mike. Hey Mike, look at this swimming pool. It's shaped like a dick. So he said he's so traumatized that now he can't draw bulges and dicks and things.
Oh my god!
Right. My chest hurts from laughing.
But,
what does that tree look like, Mike?
Hey Mike.
Right.
Hey Mike.
Hey Mike. Hey Mike. Hey Mo. Hey Mo.
Now I'm just gonna do that now. Hey Mike.
I know.
Now do it like the Three Stooges. You gotta do. Hey Mo. Hey Mo. Hey Mike. Hey Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. Robert, what are you gonna say? I know it's hard to hear him because you're Mike, but go ahead.
I was just trying to say. Well, I'm on my phone, like I said. So, one thing I was trying to bring up. I was just going to go to another topic very quickly. Sure. What would you say has been the most a villain or character that had the greatest potential, but was squandered, and is basically almost untouchable now?
Snowflame.
A snowflake.
Yeah.
Hey, funny we mentioned Linkara earlier. He's the one who got people remembering him.
Yeah, the freaking okay. If you look at the graded 0.5 logo, if you look really close in the logo, you can see the word cocaine, and that's from that panel. Cocaine is my god.
If you want to stay God, you gotta take her out.
You just got to be so. That's probably one. If there's one thing you could ever say about Linkara, that he reintroduced people to Snowflame.
Yeah, absolutely.
He introduced me to Doom Guy, so why not? That can't be good.
Rip and tear.
Rip and tear your guts.
Rip and tear.
Rip and tear your guts.
But I would say this though, for me, it'd be Onslaught. Actually, Onslaught has such great potential.
As long as it's you just know it's just the psyches of a amalgamation of psyches between if you do that, taking on physical form, it could, as a recurring villain or every once in a while, it could work.
And
right?
did you know what his original plan was?
Um,
It was actually supposed to be he was going to do a collective conscious,
mhm.
force it on everyone, but that would have killed everyone because no one could handle that.
Yeah, because that's too much psychic energy, and
Exactly. Which, if you ask me, like, that's a clever idea.
because it wasn't one of the things was like, I know it was in one of the offshoot, like I think it was in Hulk, where he had, like, Hulk decided he was going to go fight Onslaught, and they had this whole thing. The whole issue was like Hulk had beat the shit out of Onslaught, like he won.
Yeah.
Then you find out it was just Onslaught letting him feel what he wanted to feel.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was clever. I like that.
It was. And again, Peter David had a good understanding of everything. But again, it's what you get when you during that point of Marvel where it's like, just throw everything into the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah, that there's a good example of that when they introduced Onslaught. When you finally found out, Onslaught was Xavier.
Yeah.
The one thing where I
said right over the Juggernaut holding the gem.
Yeah, that's where they screwed up because Juggernaut never had the gem. Right. That was the one there was continuity problem that I had. Juggernaut never had possession of the gem. The gem gave him power. It made him the human Juggernaut, but he never possessed it.
We never
later. Yeah, until much later.
We don't mention Onslaught anymore for the professor's sake.
I know. But again, what I love though about that was, again, when you look at how the only thing people remember him nowadays is for the Marvel Capcom game.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, Marvel versus Capcom.
Well, those games are awesome. They could still have a tournament for this day. So
they couldn't do Apocalypse a third time in a row. I mean, come on.
No.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is Apocalypse was so worried about Onslaught that he was wanting to team up with them. It was just his tactic was like no one was going to agree to it.
Yeah.
But what does that tell you? Apocalypse was willing to work with the inferiors to stop Onslaught.
Mm-hmm. What I really found interesting, because how they had that whole thing where the Watcher only shows up when something and the Watcher's there and Apocalypse is having a conversation with him.
Yeah, but he basically tells them like, do you really feel is it not stronger that they were willing to not give in to the easy answer?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But of course, one thing I will always say that I will never forgive Onslaught for us. It's through that event that we lost the Green Goblin, the heroic Green Goblin.
Yeah,
Phil Urich.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, let's be honest. Also, that's because they were going to bring Norman back.
Oy.
Well, see, my opinion about that is, if they were going to do that, just let Norman kill the Goblin.
Yeah, but
Phil, that would
Yeah, but Phil was a good character, and I think they did. I think DeFalco did not want to kill him.
Well, not kill him, but when you bring Norman back, and et cetera, have him retake the mantle.
Right. Although the other thing is DeFalco. I think DeFalco's still one of those great writers who has not done anything truly awful. Just.
I mean, I would, if I had let's put it, if I had a property, I'd want, I think he could write it,
Exactly. I mean, heck, the fact that his very last issue of Fantastic Four was having Reed be the one to say it's clobbering time, and then Ben say, "Enough said."
Yeah.
No shit.
I mean, if you're gonna, if that was supposed to be their last hurrah, that's what you would end it on further for, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, definitly.
I mean, I guess if you want.
I just like that. I wanted the Falcon. I think it was one of his interviews when he talked about the Clone Saga.
Yep.
And he said, it got to a point where we were just writing shit on a napkin. And,
I know.
Yeah.
Did you ever read the miniseries, The Real Clone Saga, where he and who was the other writer? The guy who wrote the final issue. He took over Spider-Man for most of the titles.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He also did the brought in the 90s Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy, they both worked on that miniseries, and we found out what could have happened.
Yeah, a lot better story for one.
Oh yeah, a lot better story. It would have been
the real Clone Saga makes you forget about the other Clone Saga.
I personally always saw that mini as being the prequel to Spider-Girl. Like that's what happened in continuity.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like the script to Buffy the Vampire Slayer before the movie, but here's the series that Joss Whedon had actually envisioned.
Right.
But the script is the prequel to the TV series with Sarah Michelle Gellar, basically. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
But I say this: DC had his shit together in the '90s when it came to good story writing for the most part. Marvel did not, but they had good ideas.
It's like you have great ideas, poor execution. You have maybe some like weird ideas, but you have good execution. It's kind of
like the last good one. The last good thing was
and
Age
then
of
you have
Apocalypse.
Image Comics. Oh,
the last good thing was Age of Apocalypse.
That's yeah.
I'm talking about the '90s before Heroes Were Born.
Yeah,
I think Age of Apocalypse might have been the last X-Men story that got adapted into the animated series. Actually, now I think about it,
it did.
Or maybe it was the one with the tomb or whatever.
No, they combined Days of Future Past with Age of Apocalypse.
I haven't seen the cartoon in a while.
Right.
Oh, that was kind of a weird like amalgamation of
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they combined Cable stuff, Age of Apocalypse, Days of Future Past. They had to be the Wolverine with somehow able to be the cure for the legacy virus.
And suddenly Bishop.
Yes, can we block it?
That was like, see, that's the thing. That's the one thing that bugs me about like current Marvel and stuff like that. Like Bishop was such an awesome character. Right,
they made him a villain.
Yeah.
Well, not only they made him, I'm just talking about in the animated series. He was such an awesome character that he was introduced like a year before the animated series, roughly, and they had to figure out a way to put him in. Because he was that good. He was a good character. I was like, see, you can create characters, skin color and race notwithstanding, and be and appeal to other people. That whole we make new characters, but they just don't appeal. It's like, no, you're bad writers. That's why they don't appeal. Right?
What character?
Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah, Bishop was a good character. They want to ignore that good characters can be good as long as you write good stories and put your marketing power.
Yeah, I think Comic Perch, who we follow on Twitter, has talked about this. Like, we have diverse characters. I mean, one of the first ones he always champions is Monica, the Captain Marvel, I believe.
Oh yeah, Monica Rambeau, yeah.
Right.
But he's basically saying we have established characters. If we put them on a team, we can have that. But the problem is you guys are setting on properties and just sitting on the copyrights and doing nothing with them.
It's kind of like with the whole, gay Iceman thing, right?
Oh, gee.
There is no need for a gay Iceman when you have North Star.
North Star, yeah.
You have North Star.
Thank you.
They
even married him off, and they made a big deal about it. They actually married him. They didn't back out of it. And then he's gone.
Yep. Don't exist.
I think every time I think of gay Iceman, I think of the Silver Spooner from Dial M for Monkey on Dexter's Laboratory. Julie Garland, where?
How about the current thing with Marvel, and it happens a lot in their books. I was like, I didn't think it was like that serious until I started watching reviews and seeing it. I'm like, wow.
What?
For some reason, and this goes back to these being Tumblr level writers and stuff like that.
Right. Or young adult novelist writers.
Obviously, superheroes have to eat, so we have to show them eating.
Oh,
like,
geez, then that's
in one of the god awful Iceman books, there was like, he says, I'm gonna go fight the villain, and then somebody comes up, maybe you should eat something first. Okay, and he starts eating.
Oh no! Wait. Okay, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Freakazoid. Like, he's about to stop the bad guy, and the cop shows up.
You do it.
Do I?
Yeah, you do that in a parody where he's so distracted, and yet when he gets back, it's still,
Yeah, that sounded like a parody. It's like, that can't be real.
No, it's real.
It sounds like the '60s Adam West Batman, where they're actually at a restaurant in costume saying, "I think I'll have the Bat Burger, if you don't mind."
And then, and what's really funny, I went and found because I did a review of X-Men number Uncanny X-Men number 285, because the reason I did it was because it's the first Marvel comic I ever bought. Right. And looking back at it, I'm like, hey, look at this. Iceman hitting on women, having a thing with women, wanting to be with women. I was like,
if I remember right, weren't they originally going to be saying, when they originally did it, they were going to say this was young Bobby, it's not going to affect adult Bobby. Yeah, how long did that last?
Yeah. The idea was like, young Bobby is gay, this Bobby is not. But then they would have to explain that the young X-Men the younger
were
version.
not displaced, and then they but then they said, oh, they were displaced,
or they were displaced from a different timeline, or it had to be something.
Well, of course, it had to be something convoluted.
How long? How long did that last? A cup of coffee and get the fuck out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Then he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been gay the whole time." This is my opinion, and I've talked to Piper about this. Me and Piper talked about this before. What I would have done, I would have made young Jean just a bitch, and she just fucks with people.
Yep.
That her whole thing is like, yeah, Bobby's gay because I made him gay.
Hey, well, that's what Multiverse saying. Even that was something even Zach once thought of. Remember?
Yeah. But he said
the trial of Jean Grey and all that.
Yeah, and then I said when old Bobby says, "Oh yeah, I'm a gay," that's just her fucking with him, right? Exactly. And so the whole thing would have culminated at the end when real Jean comes back, right?
Right.
And she looks at her and she says, "You're not me."
Yep.
Because you're destroying people's lives. Like, what are you talking about? And she looks at both the Bobbies and says, "Y'all are not gay.
You're right.
He made you gay."
I would say this as well. You know what? I think looking back, was there one explanation of why he must be gay? Mm-hmm. Oh, in the very first, in X-Men #1, all the other guys except for Bobby were falling all head over heels for Jean. Even
Bobby was 12.
I was about to say.
That makes perfect sense to me.
He was younger than Johnny Storm.
That's what I'm guessing. People were thinking, looking back, they're like, well, clearly he must have been gay because he wasn't tripping himself over himself.
He was.
Yeah, that one moment. That's confirmation.
Yeah, let's look at this lineup here. Okay, so
foreshadowing.
You got Scott, who he's been in an orphanage most of his life. It's probably 15, 16 at that time. Yep. You got Warren, who's almost 18. You got Hank, who's probably between the two.
Then you got Xavier, who already knows that what we'll probably later find out.
Yeah, so we already know that Xavier's been hitting something, and so the only so everybody else is young and full of hormones, right?
Yeah, Bobby's 12 and not even there yet. So as far as he still thinks girls icky.
He's probably like, oh, girl, whatever.
Because 12 and 13 are usually the ages boys are kind of like, Mom, what's happening to me? It's puberty. I'm not sure about this. We got girls. Oh my God, cooties aren't so bad anymore.
Well, I said it's his ice powers. It was cooling off everything.
Actually, that makes sense.
Dude, you just made a joke they would have made back in that amazing Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends.
Oh God, yeah.
And more than likely, he probably did. None of that.
No, I've been rewatching that show. I haven't found that, but again, him hitting on Firestar like all the time. So
did you see the? Did they have the? It was like it was either the first episode or it was the origin episode where they talk about how they all met and everything.
Yeah.
The one where he's like, Bobby's shaking Peter's hand, and it's like, he's making him cold, and she's like, Bobby, and she takes his other hand and makes him warm. He says, "I'm so cold. I mean, hot. I mean, what's going on?"
It reminds me of when Peter actually met Firestar when she was just in jail. It's like, let's like someone say a new friend. Yeah, I sure have. What's your name? I'm Peter Parker Peter. I mean, Peter Piper. I mean, Peter Porker. I mean,
Peter Porker.
Yeah, he went through like 5 different names before he got his own right. Yeah,
and I'm sure all of those names eventually became their own Spider-Man.
Now, given Spider-Verse, I'm not surprised, but now I'm thinking of Muppet Babies again. Bouncing babies. Looks like I'll have to handle this caper myself. Hey, you kids, cut it out. Don't you know there's
that's kind of where he's a writer, but in that one moment you think, was he the artist?
Yeah.
Whoops. No, he was just filling in the word balloons.
I know, but again, you don't know that as a kid.
I know. Sorry, Mr. Lee. Whoops.
There's one little other, just to, think about this. There's one other meta thing that that Marvel has like forgotten about or just don't deal with anymore. You remember when Captain America was an artist for Marvel Comics?
Oh yeah.
That was a thing.
Steve Rogers was legitimately a artist for Marvel Comics.
For Captain America.
Because they said
I missed the meta humor of old Marvel. Like Stan
that was Mike Gruenwald's era. That was Mike Gruenwald's run.
Stan would encourage that stuff.
it was hilarious because like at one point he says like, "You do really good work, Steve. You want to work on this one character? I think we want you to do Captain America." He said, "Oh yeah, I think I might be able to do something with that."
Where do I start?
Yeah,
I know. And he felt like, it's a little self-indulgent, but
yeah. It was just like, like meta stuff like that would be cool, but we're never, Ta-Nehisi Coates will never touch on that because, you gotta Gotta have that woke.
Let's not have fun, guys.
Yeah.
Fun.
We mentioned
How can we have fun when Captain America is a Nazi?
Hail Hydra.
Well, no. It's funny you mentioned that, and I mentioned Spider-Man is Amazing Friends. The 13th episode of the first season actually did have Nazis, literal Nazis, on Saturday mornings working with the Red Skull, and one thing even said, "Hail Hitler! That's not the swastika, you idiot!" And I'm like, this happened on Saturday morning on NBC right before the Smurfs people.
Well, that was because, we were still in, I don't want to call it propaganda, but we were still in rah-rah American, where we knew everybody with a brain knows, hey, Nazis bad.
The war we were more concerned about and still having a falling out from in the 80s was Vietnam, the Rambo movies, Platoon, and all those things, and all the heroes on TV were like Vietnam veterans. Knight Rider, the entire A Team, Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice.
Just to point out something. I know we said we weren't going to talk about it, but I just saw a tweet someone just did of that throws in the face of what Marvel polled recently, or Disney polled recently. There actually are some gravestones that have Spider-Man and other, and Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Roo and all that on them, or Tigger and Piglet. It's like, excuse me, Disney, but I have a few questions. I just saw this tweet. I'm just like, what the?
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
Okay, if we're being honest, if that's really a thing, I want Darkwing Duck on my stone.
No, but I'm serious. I'm just looking. I'm like, okay, then what's their excuse now? What is?
Yeah, I know. What changed?
You have no excuse. Take them to the back and shoot them.
I know. I mean, okay. In the case of the Spider-Man one, it was and they left in 2007. That was before the Disney stuff.
Can somebody call Mickey Mouse to kick their asses like they did the Jonas Brothers in South Park again?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they're doing this on purpose to get a rise out of everybody. I don't know. The deep of my mind, I just have this feeling.
Well, then again, to be fair, though, it looks like this was done after the Eisner era. It looks like it was after. It looks like under the current regime. That's the new.
The only thing Bob Iger ever did was get the Disney California
Pixar
Adventure actually working.
Yeah. Seriously.
Oh,
and it was funny because that was $1 billion project. And he had to spend another $2 billion to get it right.
I know. Oh my god, that was just mind blowing. Wow.
Yeah, but
Walt, can you please get out of your cryogenically frozen and come back? Or
we already know how that would go.
We would go find Elian Gonzalez and
oh.
Are the Jews gone yet? Well, put me back.
that was an adult Robot Chicken episode where it's like they did have him, they brought him back and he was trying to find Elian Gonzalez.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's not dated at all.
And then they got killed, and he get killed, and Elian was like, I will go with him if it will save my Cuban people. And then Castro is the one that killed him, right? He killed Walt finally. And then Elian started talking about he's like, while this menace has shown that the capitalism is bad, our conditions in our country must. And then Castro killed Elian. He goes, I love doing that.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Robot Chicken. What I do once Ted Turner actually painted himself and said, I'll kick your ass because I'm Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Or George W. Being like, the force is strong in my wiener. That whole Star Wars special was great.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Let's see how you.
I rewatched that clip actually. It's like, but I can't believe you fell for the oldest trick in the book. What a goof!
The fact that they actually got Rick Moran to do the voice for him again on the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Where the Goldberg. I know what's with all the '80s nostalgia. Goldbergs, Stranger Things. It's crazy.
Evil will always win because good is dumb.
I want to use the Schwartz. I know, use the Schwartz, but the ring.
The ring was bogus.
I got it out of the Cracker Jack box. I want to see that movie again. That movie was good. God bless them. God bless John Candy. God bless Joan Rivers. That was good.
Hey, quit looking up my can. Sorry.
And could you try to save the car?
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That's the combination. That's what an idiot put on his luggage. That's they mentioned the number again. That's the same color as my luggage.
Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls.
Good.
Good. What the
Oh
hell am I
boy, Rick
looking?
Moranis. What talk about a? You feel bad why he had to retire?
Yeah, I know.
What was it?
His wife passed away, and he had to raise his kids.
Oh, all right. Okay, yeah. Now I
In
remember.
fact, the
I was kind
last
of blanking.
movie, live action movie he did, and it was Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
That I remember that video. Dad,
yeah.
I didn't invite those boys over.
I have to say, though, that was by far, I think, the only good of the straight-to-video live action Disney stuff.
Actually, the funny thing is, that's how I learned what bananas have potassium in them.
I know,
right.
I know.
But
Did you ever
oh,
see that, Optimus? Did you ever see that movie?
What's that?
Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah,
Long
I mean,
time
like
ago.
I said, that was the only good, probably because they had Rick Moranis in it. It was the only good one.
all right, yeah, Shrink Machine one last time.
Yep.
And then you start on the Muppets Tonight, and they accidentally shrug Pepe, Clifford, and all that. Hey, baby, I'm gonna be late. We got a big problem. Actually, it's a big, small problem. I mean, like, no, Bunsen, that's not how you work the shrinking machine. Here, let me show you.
Right. Oh, did you know that the actress who played the wife in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids actually was in at least the TV version of Tremors?
Really?
Ah.
Yeah, she was.
So she worked with Rick Moranis, and she worked with
Michael Gross.
Michael Gross, yeah.
I
feel
love
like,
Tremors. I love Tremors.
yeah, how do you, as the guy who loves Family Ties, I'm like, how do you go from Steve Keaton to I feel it was denied critical need to know information?
I got to.
I am completely out. Sorry.
I just wanted to something. I don't know if y'all heard. This is a Twitter account called Hard Drive Mag, which is basically a parody site and everything. They put this out. It says, leak. An anonymous source within IGN sent us this company-wide memo distributed yesterday evening. I remember this parody, just letting you know. And so it says, urgent, effective immediately. The following terms will be forbidden for use in any article on IGN, as they are all offensive and illegal. Failure to follow this policy will result in the immediate termination of the writer and confiscation of all the developer bribe money accrued during employment. The terms gamer, games, gaming, video gamer, video games, video gaming.
Oh my god.
Here you go. Thank you for your compliance with this new initiative. With your help, we will end the scourge of gaming with a asterisk in the middle of it in our society. Fuck gamers, IGN copy desk.
Sorry, I just realized Piper had left. Sorry. Yeah, basically,
blame her. It's her fault. Don't.
Hey.
For the record, I blame you.
Geez, Fairly Odd Parents.
Or Danny Phantom. For the record, I blame you.
Or the Atom from Justice League Unlimited.
Oh yeah.
They are twice the size now. Naturally, I blame you. Me? Why do you blame me? Well, I'm the scientist. It can't be my fault.
I gotta rewatch Justice League again. The one-liners on that show, even though it was drama, were great. Hey, I'd like to introduce you to the Crimson Avenger and my former sidekick partner. Do we really have to talk about this?
I bet they got the guy who did Speedy in Teen Titans.
They brought him. Yeah, they did both. Yeah, that was great.
I got linked a couple of clips to the Justice League action. I remember because still working at Toys R Us with some of the toys. Never let Superman interrogation. All Batman has to do, show off a donut, and the bad guy would be like, is that poison? It's chocolate. You want to try it? No, he's smiling. Okay, I'll confess. But the Superman's trying to interrogate him. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to slam. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing. Just think about what I'm going to do if I get mad.
I get that for the joke, but Superman has done bad cop before.
I know.
Effectively.
I bet this is the same show where I'm seeing Firestorm try to flirt with Stargirl, and it's pretty funny to watch.
Stargirl, a great character. Stargirl is a great character.
But yeah, Firestorm.
Hey, Optimus, have you ever watched any of the Tremors shows or movies?
No, I have not.
You should. You should.
Yeah, I haven't watched them either. I know the Kevin Bacon's in the first one.
Yep, Kevin Bacon's in the first one. Michael Gross has been in all of them except for that attempt at a reboot.
Oh boy.
the whole show, the whole thing is basically a parody of those monster movies of the 50s, where again, that's exactly what kind of the graphics are. Of course, back then they'd probably be done by Ray Harryhausen because animatronics weren't up to par yet, puppetry. But it's kind of a throwback to that sort of era, but updated for like the 90s.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
But of course, Michael Gross's Bird gets all the great one-liners.
Broke in the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, you bastard?
Yeah, he's basically the Bruce Campbell of that. He's just like this deranged survivor. That's
you think this very anti-gun guy, being this complete gun survivalist, he said this: so long as I don't have to point a gun at a person, and as long as Bert never points a gun at a person, I'm good.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's the other thing. He actually went through all the trials and learned about gun safety and everything. He was kind of like Schwarzenegger like that. He actually learned how to use it.
I know, but
yeah,
it's not like, say, the actor who played the cop in Collateral, where he went through all this training to be like a cop, shoot like a cop, and he never pulled his gun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Michael Mann is very strict on what he feels between fantasy and realism in a lot of his movies.
But he never had to use it. It's
like, I know. You see this in Heat. You see this in Collateral. Yeah, Jamie Foxx has a lot of great Collateral.
I still love. My favorite story he ever told was when he was he has Tom Cruise. I have Tom Cruise in the back, billions of dollars in the back. And then he just like explaining how there's supposed to be a part where they crash into a car, but they kind of hit a little hard. But he and Tom are just laughing, and then they're like, cut. Everyone's coming over, and he's like, hey guys, get out of the way so we can get the top. Again, Jamie Foxx is he's a great guy from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And is it a talk that he's gonna be Spawn?
Spawn?
Is he in a Spawn reboot or something?
Who's that?
I don't know. I'd be all right with it.
Yeah, that's a rumor I heard that he was going to be Spawn.
Jamie's a funny guy and a great actor. If you've seen his Ray Charles in
oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw him in Django Unchained. He was really good in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think though nothing's going to be Michael J. White. Like the guy from that was actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, the Spawn movie.
And he was the guy who got the "Why So Serious" treatment in Dark Knight. Enough.
And again, these people, these so-called activists, history forgets the 90s had a lot of black superhero movies. We made progress. Sometimes it was a mixed bag, but at least we tried. Some of them were good, some of them weren't so good, but at least we tried.
Wasn't Dark Man a black guy, or am I mixing people up?
There was also like Mystery Man. Hey, can you guys see me? Yeah, we can.
Yeah, you can't see him unless you're turned away.
Yeah, there was also who was that one original character that wasn't part
Meteor
of
Man?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, except that one, and they had all these other black actors, and it bombed bad.
Yeah.
So it looks like Jamie Foxx will play Spawn.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as Michael J. White, let's not forget that he is Black Dynamite. And
Black Dynamite.
And he was in a biopic from HBO years ago as Mike Tyson.
Oh,
really? Oh, that's interesting.
It was a really good biopic too. Like,
I think I've heard of that.
I'll check it out because I remember when Tyson was like big, like his first run as undefeated champion. Mike Tyson.
Yeah. That's pretty much what they go over up to his loss, and then it kind of hazes over the allegations. I mean, they show him going to jail and stuff, but
the funny thing is,
man, I would have loved to see if they did before the WWE stuff with DX and Stone Cold.
Yeah, they didn't get that far.
That would have been great. It's Tyson and Austin. It's Tyson and Austin.
Did you know that was actually his loss is why Marvel and Nintendo dropped the license?
Yep, that's right.
It was before the allegations, and they've already dropped it because he lost in Japan.
How do you think Sega felt? Like they immediately signed Buster Douglas, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what happened.
They signed Buster Douglas and they did the video game, but the video game came out after he had lost to Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, that's right.
Which was ironic because Nintendo signed on Mike Tyson before he became the champ.
Yeah.
I found out he signed for $50,000. Like that was it. That's what he signed for, and it's like that's one of the other reason Nintendo didn't sign him too is because they said we can't afford him now.
But it was more because he lost as well.
And that was the biggest thing, he lost.
Well,
so
yeah.
So the luster was gone at that point. So
I know.
Yeah, they even tried to do a sequel, but of course,
like one of the lines from the biopic that always got me. They were trying to play into the race stuff and stuff like that. But he made a good line. It was like it was a funny line to me at least because he goes like, "I'm not anti-white. I'm just pro-black."
I still remember his cameo in Rocky Balboa.
All right.
Oh yeah, where he was like, was it Mason?
Like, it's for charity, man. It's just for charity.
Yeah, Mason DeLon Dixon was trying to start a fight with him. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh no. Well, yeah. Well, he's trying to tell him like, hey, dude, come on, this is just for charity. Come on.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, that was interesting. Was Tyson having him there? It's just like the guy's almost Adam Westing himself these days.
Yeah, doesn't he have like a cartoon that's supposed to be like a parody of
Mike
Tyson Adventure is great.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, and boy, can you talk about with Scooby-Doo? They have been having a resurgence. I know I'm trying to jump into something else, but you have the new Scooby-Doo show, and you have the fact that they actually finally wrapped up 13 Ghosts. After how long?
Yeah.
I want to do it. I said this before, but I want to do Alex, I showed you Knickknacks. I want to do a show like that, but go over all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, including Scooby.
Yeah.
Including all the interpretations of Scooby.
Yes, there are many.
Of course, once I get to the 90s, Rob and I are like, we got to talk the direct-to-videos first. That was the resurgence of Scooby.
Yep. Hey, Optimus, question. Do you ever keep up with Rooster Teeth stuff? I mean, besides the Vic stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, mostly Red versus Blue. I don't really keep up with
I love that. Not Ruby.
Yeah.
Not Ruby.
Not Ruby, no. Or fake Gundam. I mean, Genlock, excuse me.
Did you hear they're bringing that to Adult Swim?
I heard something about that, yeah.
Yeah, they're on the Toonami block, yeah.
Which, if you ask me, if any of their shows, that'd be the one worth it because you cannot do early Ruby on Adult Swim. You can't.
No,
Later Ruby, yes.
It would look more amateurish at that point than the early Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
They would have to get like a big budget just to redo everything, and I don't think anyone would want them to redo it because that'd be going over everything Monty did.
Yeah, they said it before.
Yeah, and I guess it feels like a show about robots and all that stuff. It feels like it fits.
Oh, it does. Yeah. And again, it's the animation is good from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, yeah.
Now, Red versus Blue, never going to happen. Although the fact you're having Genlock and Ruby getting a comic book
in DC, yeah.
I think I was talking to a friend of mine who's he is a huge Gundam. I was gonna say it nerd. Right. So I saw this like advertisement last week on Toonami where it's talking about Gundam the Origin. I'm like, what is this? So I asked him about it, and he said it was it's basically telling the story of Char before he became Char.
Oh yeah.
And he said what's funny about that. He said what's funny he said there are idiots out there who are like I can't watch the original Gundam because it's so dated in animation. So I'm gonna watch the Origin. Well, the problem is, to watch the Origin, it leads right into the original series. So if you want to get the full story, you still have to watch the original series.
Yeah, because you won't know what happened unless you watch it.
I hate people who are like that. Like, I can't watch old animation. I can't watch black and white. I can't watch anything if it's not HD because of my eyes. Yuck.
Well, Data Gundam still has my favorite line in Gundam, where it's it's when he became Quattro.
Oh yep.
And he was like, confronting the girl, I forgot her name, and he goes, and she goes, "You betrayed me." He says, "I've never betrayed anyone in my life." Right? and so that became kind of a joke with us, right? So if we were watching Dragon Ball Super during the Tournament of Power, and where Frieza eliminated Frost, because Frost thought him and Frieza were going to work together,
right?
To take everybody out, and then Frieza eliminates them, and he basically said, "I was never on your side." And so we took that scene, with Char or Quattro, and we put Frieza's face on it. It's just Frieza pointing a gun with a helmet on, saying, "I've never betrayed anyone in my life." I said he's right, but he was right because Frieza's always like he's told exactly what he's going to do. He told Goku when he got right out of hell, he said, "You realize once this is over, I'm going to kill you, right?" He's like, "Yeah."
You gotta admire Frieza's honesty.
Yeah. He's not trying to scheme or anything like that. He's like, no, I'm gonna kill you once it's all over. All right, okay, cool.
Right, but still though, with the funny thing is though, given how they keep on getting so many Funimation voice actors, and I will say this, some of the voice actors that have been on Rooster Teeth productions like
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth
Elizabeth Maxwell, that is.
Yeah, Elizabeth Maxwell. She's kept her mouth quiet on the whole thing.
She's a sweetheart. She don't tell no.
She is. I've met her. And while I know someone like Jen Brown's opened her mouth out, she's not a voice actor except for Red vs. Blue. She's just a regular actress. And then Shannon, good Lord, that guy.
Shannon, you were in one thing of Breaking Bad. You haven't done anything since. Get over it. Number one. Number two. Number two, J. Michael Tatum said one thing, and then he's kept his mouth shut since. So I can respect that.
Exactly.
And it's only because he's went through shit, because he is a gay man.
Yeah. I remember when somebody was pointing out what Shannon had been saying. I was like, why is anybody listening to the one guy from Red vs. Blue who's the most boring?
Wait a minute. Wash wasn't that boring.
I said the most boring. I didn't say he was that boring. I said, but out of the crew, you got to admit.
I mean, I liked him in season 6 when he was first introduced. I mean,
right.
I did like the one where he said, when he got grappled, when he had to get grappled by the ball.
Oh yeah, by Carol.
No, wait.
He was like, he's like, Wash, get in here. Not until you tell me what happened to Georgia.
I know.
That was the worst throw ever of all time.
Not my fault. Somebody put a wall in my way. But again, with Shannon, it just feels like, but here's the funny thing. I had a good interaction with him at one point. He was spouting out stuff from Tim Doyle. And then I basically said, like, dude, I hope this doesn't make you lose faith in me, but I cannot support, because I know that he's spouting out stuff. And then he took time to ask me what things as Tim said that's wrong. And I explained to him. Now, he never responded, but the fact that he at least gave me a chance and he didn't block me afterwards speaks volumes that he was still, because I was being respectful. I wasn't being like an asshole. Like,
I mean, you didn't just straight up say, what has Tim Doyle done wrong? Well, he lives. That's one thing.
I know.
You don't do that. You don't do that. It's like when I saw this. It's like when I saw this one video with Alyssa Milano. She said that, I know, I've heard that before. No, I won't block you if you're different politically than me. I will block you if you threaten my husband and kids or threaten me. But that's it.
Exactly. Which again, it's fair. That is fair. I mean, that's why whenever I see so much of this stuff, I'll be honest, that's been always one of my biggest things why I never officially say I was Comicsgate, was because I do not want to be one of those people who want to go after and harass. It's like when I've heard from some people, and I'm just taking one person's word at it, from Scott Snyder, how Yellow Flash just came into his DMs and gave him shit after he made his one comment about Comicsgate. And given how Yellow Flash can be, I'm more likely to believe Scott in that regard. But just like, you don't do that.
Yeah,
well, it's also, we're getting his one side of it. So,
well, that is true. But again,
Yellow Flash. I got to say,
I did the blacklist list. Remember that? That's like, that really didn't help anyone.
And I got a good rapport with Flash, and I like him.
I do too.
But when he will be that one. He's your. I always said, if you need a scalpel, you find somebody else, because that's not Yellow Flash.
Definitely. I just remember that though. Back in the early days of Comicsgate, he did that blacklist list. Let's blacklist these people. Got some shit, and everyone gave him grief over it. They're like, no, we're not doing that. That's not us. Nowadays.
Well, I mean, he's kind of, and that was when he was a smaller channel too, and stuff like that. And he's finally, lighten up a little bit. But still Yellow Flash.
He kind of has. I mean, I watch a lot.
He has. I'm just saying, I just still remember then. And again, when stuff like that happens, you're right. That's still Scott Snyder's one side. So I do take it with a bit of a grain of salt. But at the same time, given past actions, and and maybe it wasn't Yellow Flash, maybe it was someone else speaking on his behalf. And Snyder's, mixing it up.
I'll put it this way: if it was, turned out to be true, it wouldn't surprise me, because, I mean, we saw what happened the other week with Nasser and Flash.
Exactly.
I mean, that was like, I'm sorry, I had to laugh. I couldn't help it. I mean, it was it was very awkward, but at the same time, hey buddy, how you feel? And he started talking shit about him immediately. I'm like, oh,
Wow. How you doing? You
fire.
suck. I wish you didn't exist anymore.
oh yeah. He's coming. He's like, hey buddy, how you doing? You coming here to sell your books? You piece of shit. I'm like, what?
Well,
Wait,
Oh,
wait,
God.
I missed something. What?
That sounds like Hopper from A Bug's Life. You afraid of grasshoppers?
You don't like nasty. I know. Again, but it's just like, now, again, I don't want to go any further with that, but I would just point that out. But a lot of Comicsgate getting this point, some of it's bad, but I've always been able to believe up. It got worse when you had the trolls who would tag these creators in and just doing it. Like, it probably wouldn't have gotten as bad if it didn't get that far.
You know?
And you know, where you're tagging them in just to insult them, not give them legit criticism, but say you're a hack, you're yada yada. You slipped your way.
I agree with that. I agree.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sometimes just like people want to get involved with the drama, and they'll just end up creating more drama. It's
like people,
for
example, like people like Bill Sienkiewicz, they jumped in.
Oh yeah.
Full bore. There was no provocation for him to do.
Yeah,
here's the thing when a lot of controversy I've been involved with comes in. I mean, Rob and I have this friend named John, and I said, I saw some of his posts, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting my foot down right now and asking him straight up. And he said, hey, man, if you want to still support Vic, go ahead. You're not one of these jerks that goes around causing drama and harassing all that shit. And he even says, hey, listen, sometimes I do feel that way. I mean, I could say some nasty shit. And he said, trust me, you and your nastiest is nothing compared to these morons.
That's what he thinks was the kick Vic side, is what he's saying. Or I stand with Vic. I stand with Vic.
And I think I've realized that, like, I don't want to be the nasty guy. I want to be the sarcastic guy that goes into stand-up and rips into these people instead if I have to. But otherwise, I'll be like, no, I don't want to cause drama. I'll just say my piece, say my criticism, drop mic, bomb, drop mic, pipe bomb, I'm out. Take peace, I'm out.
Yep.
Totally.
Otherwise, I'm going to get so crazy. I'm just going to go to Texas. They're going to give me a gun off the counter, and I'm like, I don't know how to use it, but I'll carry it. Thanks.
I know, but it's like, and that's what my always. And again, that's how I am with pros. Like, I went up and I will give Yellow Flash this. When that one guy decided to ask Chris Sabat about the kickback stuff, and everyone was like, no, that was horrible.
On the one hand, I give the guy credit. On the second hand, he did it. On the second hand, he did it to plug his channel, which is buzz sleaze.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, that's the thing about. It's like, okay, don't bother these people at panels, right? Don't
exactly. And I never do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's happened quite a few times.
And the closest I ever got was when I was at Chicago Con, C2E2, and I met up with what's his name? The guy, he's one of the guys who did those Kickstarters and never finished it. He was the guy who was going to do Second Coming with Mark Russell.
Pace?
Yeah, Pace.
Okay, yeah.
Nice guy. He was actually being the coolest guy talking about, because I had his Elseworld he worked on with Mike Mignola.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy, great guy. And then I brought up and I eventually said, I know some guys on Comic-Gate, drop them. Just drop them. You're too nice a guy. Don't want him in your life. Drop them.
See, there he goes making a statement on the majority, right?
But he did say, though, again, you're too nice a guy to deal with that shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like he's also implying that you don't know what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I know the funny thing is, you have Pace there, a couple tables away. You have Dave Dorman. The guy who's done, the covers for Trump Space Force and all that.
Right, yeah.
I'm just like, oh boy. Because I brought Trump Space Force for Dave to sign. In fact, ironically, Tim Lim's autograph is rubbing off. That's why I always have people sign the insides on these things.
Yeah, those glossy covers are not good for.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was saying, like, I mean, how many other people have you brought this to you? And he said, quite a few. And then I was like, well, I almost considered taking it out to Paige, but I'm like, no, bad idea. Horrible idea. Horrible.
Yeah.
That's what I like about when I heard that Ethan, he's doing the chromiums for the first for the regular cover of Blood Honey and the Salamandroid cover. Yep. They're going to be. But I was like, well, that's going to be kind of silly to sign, right? But then I found out that there's going to be inside the cover is going to be a sketch cover. So because some people, actually want, they're actually paid for sketches, so he can sign in those, even though the people didn't, get a sketch cover. I said that's actually really smart, right? Like,
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I mean, technically, that's why also the graveyard shift that's getting rubbed off too.
Oh yeah, did Malin sign in on the front?
On the outside, where I know exactly. Whereas at least with Zach, he did on the inside of the book, and you had even Doug Tanapo did the inside of the book.
Which I want put it on something that's got some texture. That's what I say. So,
Right.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
exactly.
That counts.
I know exactly. That's why I always, every time I get it, I just tell them inside cover.
So
wait, you say the inside cover.
Oh, sorry, what?
Wait, inside cover, and I feel like somebody's signing my old high school yearbook.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say Perch is doing the thing again with where he's taking comic panels and putting people's tweets in them.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, I'm laughing. He did a Nick Spencer tweet from a while back, and it's he says, "I'm out at Twitter. Pretty clear at this point. You're that you're more a part of the problem than the solution." And he took the panel from Spider-Man No More, where he's walking away in the rain with Spider-Man.
Funny you say that. I know. Funny you say that. I just saw looks like it's going to be the cover for the last issue of Rags.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they're doing a Spider-Man No More spoof.
Oh, putting the costume in the trash kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks to the Tobey Maguire movie all of a sudden. Before
I think Rags is an interesting book, definitely, but I'll be honest, the people involved are. You know what I mean?
I am going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even want to know.
And all I'm going to say is, to each their own. Good luck with you. That's it.
That's all I'm saying.
Let's just go our separate ways.
He keeps his mouth shut. He don't tell. No,
again, I am not saying anymore. I like their product.
I'm going to start singing. Was it the Journey song? Someday love will find you.
Actually, my favorite Journey song. Believe it or not, Separate Ways. How we touched and went.
Exactly. We're going our separate ways.
Hey, that was a great album too.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't. Of course, everybody goes karaoke night. Don't stop
believing.
And all because Family Guy and Glee revitalized interest. Just giggity go. Oh, I love this song, and I love when amateurs sing the lyrics, but I hate baseball cards.
Random.
Get old Adam West.
Excuse me, Mayor West. How do you know my language?
Every time Actually, one thing I always did, I thought of when Batman finally, after all these years, came out on Blu-ray and DVD. I said, the first 5,000 copies are ready, Mr. West. Excellent. I'm going to sign these in all capital letters. It's going to say, Adam West.
Of course, I can imagine Bird's like, Adam, your right is so big, I can't fit my name in it. Oh, sorry, old chum.
Oh, sorry, old chum. Here you go. To make up for all those years of you being there and your stuntman is having a cup of coffee with me.
Oh, did you ever hear, if it's really dangerous, use Bert.
Yeah.
There was what was it? Remember that episode where he was like writing his name in light bright and he ran out? And he said, they will rue the day that they messed with Adam Wee.
He got some of the best things out of Family Guy. That was great.
He was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. I know. But anyone like to play Stratego? I got Stratego. I swallowed this People magazine from 1989. Okay, Crocodile. Okay, Paul Hogan, tell us about the real Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Dundee, I know. It's like, I see you. Hey, Brian, what do you see in there? I see a grown man watching cartoons. Jem, you are truly outrageous.
Jem is man. Oh, good Lord, the Jem movie.
The comic was
the fact that they tricked people. They tricked people for that stuff at the end.
Aye.
They lied to people. They flat out lied to people.
Aye.
Oh, yeah. That is cruel.
That is bogus, man.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the worst up there with Dragon Ball Evolution.
Speaking of, you said bogus. Okay, Bill and Ted 3.
Oh, yep.
Excellent.
Now, does anybody think that Keanu Reeves, he shaved his beard and everything for this?
Oh, Lord, people who are John Wick fans are going to be pissed.
Yeah, but does anybody think? Okay, go if you can, go look up that picture. He looks a lot like Kiryu from the Yakuza games now.
The Yakuza game.
He's got the fucking He's got the pink shirt and the gray suit and everything. I'm like, wait a minute, what movie is this?
I'm just
But
amazed.
yeah, Keanu was definitely one of the highlights at E3 this year
Oh,
when
yeah,
he came on stage.
Everybody was on the Keanu coattails bandwagon. Like everything he said or everything he used to say in the past just became popular there again. Like he went on Colbert, said a nice speech, it got a big applause. Colbert shaked his hand, and everybody was saying Keanu's love, Keanu's life.
Yeah, exactly.
Keanu knows how to treat the ladies.
I mean, we've determined that he's ageless, right? I mean, they found
really
pictures.
is.
They found pictures of Keanu from like 1847. So I mean,
yeah.
Because he's
Prove
so
it back.
pure. It's because he's so
1847 when he
pure.
met the real Dracula.
I was saying it's because he's so pure.
yeah.
My Dracula reference just went overhead because
Sorry.
it was Stoker's Dracula.
Hey, I just want to say this right now because I don't know. Did you ever read Dan Jurgens' Saw?
Yes, back in the day, yeah.
Is it just me, or is it now very clear Jason Aaron has basically ripped it off?
Are you telling me that current Marvel writers are ripping off older stories? I'm shocked.
No, but seriously though, when you look at now, given where he's ending now his run with Thor as King of Asgard and everything, and you had a Lady Thor, you had all this other stuff going on. And you had Magog, the Magog and all that, or Mangog, and all that stuff. How much of that was the only thing that even had Thanos involved at some point? So much of his stuff has been utilized from Jurgens specifically.
Right. Hang on. I'm just going to go type something in the chat. We already talked about the Disney Spider-Man thing, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Christopher Jackson was talking about it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Let's see. Share. Okay, so I'm sharing a picture now of Keanu through the ages.
I heard about that. I've heard about this image.
Oh, that's good.
I gotta say it. Whoa.
Yeah,
exactly.
In fact, there's an edit to this image now. There's a new one where it shows this from Cyberpunk 2077.
What if I told you that you were ageless and nothing matters because it's not real? Your mind makes it real.
The year 3000, Keanu still looks the same.
I will say this though: the fact that he's working with CD Projekt Red says a lot about he knows who to work with in this industry.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the fact you had the whole like you're awesome, and you're amazing.
You're awesome that got the biggest applause.
But then they actually found that guy because he tweeted out there, and they got him a free app, their best version of the game and everything. He's like, you're gonna get one because you got that reaction from Keanu.
Wow, that is. Awesome.
What does that tell you about CD Projekt Red?
They've always been
they're better than Epic. They're everything.
Oh yeah. They've always been a good studio, in all honesty.
Wait a minute. While we're still on the Keanu thing, you mentioned Robot Chicken earlier. I remember this skit. Hi, I'm Neo from The Matrix. Kicks the guy's ass. Hi, I'm Constantine. Hi, I'm the guy from Speed. Take that, Dennis Hopper. And it's all supposed to be a commercial parody of all the guys who played.
I don't care what anybody says. Keanu Reeves' best performance was in Point Break.
I never seen it.
What, the surfing movie?
Yeah. You know why? Yeah. Because this is what I call, this was green Keanu, right? This is like right after Bill and Ted, before Speed,
Yeah.
And the delivery of this line is so wooden and terrible. It's just great, though. He goes, "You're going down, man. That's the way it's got to be."
That's the weirdest thing about Keanu. That's the weirdest thing about Keanu is look at what he was for a while. He was just everyone knew of him as being the wooden actor. Now look at him.
Yeah, now he's
it's like how in Speed he goes, "It's just the cans, man. It's just the cans."
Yeah,
he's like for John Wick, he learned how to shoot, right? And
yeah, exactly.
And he says, "If I can shoot, I can also act."
I know. And then you have him in "Always Be My Maybe." And it's just like and the reason why they wrote that is specifically for him because he appeals so well in Japan.
Did you ever see? Have you ever seen him like going through a course, like a shooting course?
I have. I've seen that.
That is amazing. I was like, how is he? What? That's what I first saw.
Did you see his training for the Matrix?
Yeah, it's like
there's a
reason. You know what? As John Wick has proven one thing. he should be live action Spike Spiegel still.
Ooh.
Well, when he said like he would be interesting in playing Wolverine in the MCU, I was like, yep,
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely
Yeah, I
has
wouldn't
the
be
height.
against that.
yep.
I wouldn't be
Because
against this.
he's a little tall for it, but I don't care because he can
Well,
hunch
Hugh Jackman
over.
was tall.
So was Hugh Jackman. I mean, the shortest cast member in those three movies was the guy who played Cyclops, and he had to wear platform shoes, so the actress who played Jean didn't dwarf him. Logan, yeah, stay
But
away.
That was, yeah.
But yeah, if he ended up playing, like I said, I wouldn't have a problem with it because he's got a little age on him, and I like a Wolverine that's like older. You know, I want him to be like the gruff, snick bub guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he just take this, boy. I was about doing things before you. Did he just call?
I don't. No, I've been defending by you to write this before. You had claws. He just
He
called
just
me
called
boy.
me boy.
Dude, Kelsey Grammer, best casting.
Oh, absolutely. It's beast.
Perfect casting.
I liked him as Beast. I thought it was.
I know. I was like, there comes a man when in a time in a man's life, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Keanu is Silver Surfer. Whoa, at least he could still do. Whoa, dude.
Dude, Keanu
He's like,
as
whoa,
Doom.
man, Galactus is coming.
Keanu,
Dude, I actually
Keanu
wanna watch-
Reeves as Doom.
It's Doctor Doom. Oh wow, that would be interesting. That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, who? What?
Doctor Doom.
What about him?
Keanu Reeves as Dr. Doom.
Really?
No, okay. Here's the funny. Okay, you remember way back in the day, people were saying, like Keanu Reeves needs to play Gambit. Keanu needs to play Gambit, right? I had a friend who always made the joke. He said, if Keanu Reeves playing Gambit, you got to have Alex Winter play Iceman.
Oh, God. No,
Dude.
hey, it's either that. It's either that. Or you get,
Excellent.
hey, it's either that or you get
Bogus.
either that or you get Val Kilmer because he already played Iceman in Top Gun. You can be my wingman.
Yeah.
You can be my wingman. He already played Batman.
Look.
Yeah, you could be mine, dude.
Look, I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean this in in any way disparagingly, but Top Gun is the one of the best movies for LGBTQ rights. Like that movie is so gay, but it's right. It's fine. It's a very.
Hey, I actually like that movie, and I think the soundtrack is I keep in my CD player, which I
Come on,
still
dude.
have kiddos. Great soundtrack.
Playing with the boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come
I
on.
Hey,
You know,
my mom loves it, so why not?
Shirtless, playing it shirtless outside, and, all glistening and everything. It's like
Dude, I already went through that. The show was called Baywatch. Thank you.
Here's another question. Back to comics for a brief second. This is again for you, Optimus. What creator out there who has been very anti-comics gay, but you still feel has been at least a reasonable person, so long as you're not trying to start shit?
Now, you say that they have to have they had to comment or have they?
Yeah,
not
they've had to
commented?
have commented on it.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello.
Alex?
Alex.
Hello?
We can
Alex.
hear you. We can hear you, dude.
I'm here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear? Hang on one second. I might have hit something. Can you hear me just fine?
Yes.
Yeah, we
yes.
got
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Something weird just happened.
Okay.
Like, go on.
I'm trying to think here. Who has commented that? Well, I got no.
Again, they're reasonable so long as you don't start shit up.
Right. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because for me, I would say Kurt Busiek.
Yeah. Because it seems like most of the time he comments when people have kind of antagonized him to comment.
Exactly. I mean, the only time he ever said something to me is when I tagged him in, and him and the others when I was doing one of those vote on who should I do a creator spotlight on. And he's like, dude, I don't want me and my friends to be associated. Could you untag us? Because you are filling up with anti-comics gay people. And I'm like, oh, sure, man, sure, sorry. Then I later turned out a Discord was complaining about me saying I was bending the knee and kissing up. And it's like, no, I was being reasonable.
No, it's like if somebody requests you do something, you do it. I mean, that's,
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Deal.
That's how it normally works.
Exactly.
I'm trying.
You only bend the knee if you're a coward and an idiot.
Right.
Yeah, Rob, I question isn't common sense, but he's otherwise an intelligent man.
Hey.
And he's no coward. He's just a doormat and overly polite.
Exactly.
Which is more than I could say for a lot of people. But I live in Connecticut, where only the jerks come from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
I
jerk-
would know that too.
No jerk.
Hey, I'm
No
walking.
jerks originated in Connecticut. Come on, right? Yeah.
Hey, what? What?
See, exactly.
Ah,
I went to
I
Korea, at
still, I
least I'm
still
not
remember. You know what? One line I still remember from a movie that drives these guys crazy.
Mm.
What kind of city could you hide a city full of robots and no one would notice? Connecticut
Yeah.
from Stepford Wives.
That's
the
funny.
remake with Frank Oz and Nicole Kidman and
Wah,
Christopher
wah, wah, wah,
Walken.
wah, 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 wah,
Christopher
wah,
Walken,
wah.
exactly. Every time I think of Christopher Walken, I think of that Fat Boy Slim video from MTV.
Christopher Walken.
But what has Walken done lately? Ever since the Hook special?
I haven't heard anything.
Maybe he's slowing down. Maybe age is catching up to him.
Maybe because it's like, I mean, then again, I still remember when I didn't hear anything from Tim Curry and he found out he had a stroke, and it's like, when the hell did this happen?
I know. I was so devastated.
But he
I'm
finally
like,
still in good
please do not silence the most hammiest man in show.
Yeah.
Have
Do
a
you have
lovely
Prince
day.
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor fellow out. Aha, aha.
Sorry, I'm still thinking back to because I'm on the
Sorry.
Nickelodeon nostalgia. Welcome back to Nigel Thornberry's Animal World.
Yeah.
Just saw a funny little thing here. They said, "Okay, hear me out." Gordon Ramsay as Prince Eric Chef from in Little Mermaid.
Oh,
Hey,
Louis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's either him or Guy Fieri, man.
dude, I just want because one of the funniest things I've ever it's Gordon Ramsay's one of those things. If it shows on, you're going to sit down and watch it. Right?
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, there was a webcomic I saw a long time. I said, "This is absolutely true." It's like they were all sitting around, like one guy's sitting watching TV. He said, "Hey man, you want to go do something?" "I'm watching Kitchen Nightmares." So he sits down, right? And the other guy said, "Hey guys, you want to go do something?" He said, "We're watching Kitchen Nightmares." The
fact that one restaurant that was notorious at everything
Amy's Bakery, right?
shut down recently.
That doesn't surprise me.
Wow, it took long enough.
This was but this line from Hell's Kitchen gets me every time because they cooked they were cooking chicken and the chicken was raw.
Oh, you could have killed someone.
No. The thing is, he did this. He started off like he's going to tell a joke. He goes like, "Guys, why did the chicken cross the road?"
Why, because you couldn't fucking cook it.
Fucking cook it.
I know. And the fact that was one of the times he walked right out. He's like, "You're not going to do anything."
Yeah.
Wait,
Especially Kitchen Nightmares has been making like such a big comeback on YouTube lately. Like they've been showing clips
I'm
of
an
some of
idiot
like
sandwich.
the funniest moments. It's
The
great.
fact that he did not expect that.
Yeah.
He did not
Dude,
know how much.
He does. He's also a judge on MasterChef.
Yeah.
And just a couple weeks because my mom records them, and sometimes I watch them on the DVR. And there was this one guy, he didn't know. They were doing a challenge, and the guy was like, it was a group challenge. The guy was like running around, didn't know what to do. He goes, "Hey, here, come here." He gives him a pot, a bowl of water. He's like, "Go water the plants. Fuck off." And the guy actually went and did it.
Yeah, of course. You don't question chef.
Hey, you're talking about those cooking shows. I still remember the ones that had like the kid chefs or whatever, kid top chefs or
Yeah.
Master Chef Junior?
No.
Junior,
It was a
Kid
pastry.
Top
It was like a
Chef.
pastry or we do desserts or something.
Yeah, they got all kinds of kids.
But I remember one particular. You had this young, they were down to like nearing the semifinals. You had this young black girl who just didn't know what she was doing. She was freaking out. I had to have one other kid like, "I'm coming," and helps them out. And it's obvious she didn't know what she was doing. She was just overhead. She made it on to the next one, and she ended up winning.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
And
that's
yeah,
the thing about the kids ones.
Young black girl.
Yeah, the kids ones are great because they will help each other out.
Oh no, that was great.
There's something just like something wholesome about that.
No,
but it's
I
like
know that was.
it's good, but like I just like the one with the adults where Chef just.
I wish I had those kids when I was going to school.
Oh no, I know. But I'm
because I had kids that when it came to our science projects, guess who ended up doing who actually wanted to do the research? It's your two thumbs and pointing at me.
There is a video that y'all need to check out when you get a chance. It's Gordon Ramsay kids versus adults and how he acts with kids versus how he acts with adults,
Yeah, so, I've seen it. I think I've seen it.
It's just like they show this one scene where he's telling the person, "You are the biggest idiot in the world, you are stupid, blah blah blah." And he's like, the next scene is like him and the kid, and he says, "You know who my biggest hero is? You."
It's like a complete 180.
Hey, guys, just to point out, Dion's going to be coming in.
Is Dion from the Transformers?
No.
Oh.
Dion Powell Jr.
Oh, okay, I was like, are we going to
Oh, he's
find
gonna
out?
make it.
He's making it.
Are we going to find out who Ultra Magnus really was?
Oh, you're Transformers. I gotta ask you this.
What about me? What about
did
me,
you
Ultra Magnus? What about me? What about me?
Blur, you can cover the East Gate.
Absolutely, positively, definitely. Nobody can get faster than me. Nobody. Transform.
Right, but Alfred, I guess, have you ever read Regeneration 1?
Regenerate? I don't think so.
That was that was Simon Furman finishing up his Marvel run.
I heard about it, but I never got around to reading it. Yeah,
it is good, actually. I mean, especially when you remember all the Furmanisms and all that. But but again, it's just like you always have to remember stuff like, oh yeah, Marvel Megatron was not the ultimate big bad. He was, and the fact when you had Rat Bat have a longer tenure than Megatron.
I like and some of the more I'm gonna say recent, not like current, like IDW. I'm talking about like Dreamwaves and things like that, where he had like set up like Rat Bat was like a senator, and the Cybertronian Council and stuff like that. I'm like, wow.
I want to. Yep. God,
but
now
I love Transformers in general. I mean, obviously you do, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, why would I put myself through this if I?
Wait,
exactly.
Wait a second, though. We mentioned Stan Bush earlier, and they'll say the moon. I'm surprised nobody's saying you got the touch.
You got the touch.
Speaking of that, have you ever heard the remake he did?
2008?
Yeah.
Wait, that wasn't the one used in Saints Row 3?
No.
No. This was a remake he did in the style of Linkin Park.
That notorious one.
And I like Linkin Park, and I liked Linkin Park. R.I.P. Chester, Bennington, of course.
But he basically because the movies were going with Linkin Park and stuff like that. And so he did a version because his big thing was he was trying to get the touch in the live action movies. He was trying,
Damn it, back.
And so he had to do it to get it in.
And they still rejected it.
Oh, geez. Now he has to live with that on his.
Because he goes like he like does the build up and he goes, you got the touch, you got the power. I was like, this is bad.
I think I'd rather hear Dare in that style. Dare,
right, but here's another thing. What did you read the IDW, the miniseries of Transformers versus G.I. Joe?
Oh yeah.
That was crazy, wasn't it? It was but I gotta say though, I did in my GoBots review, I tagged Tom Scololi in and everything. He actually liked and retweeted. Not long afterwards, like and retweet gone.
Oh boy.
My guess is he looked at my profile, saw who I have in my followings, and is like, never mind. He didn't even say anything. He just did it.
Hey guys, Robert follows that Ethan Van Sciver guy. We got
This is come on, we gotta abort.
Yeah.
Hey Dion.
Hey Dion.
Hi Dion.
Oh.
Hey
everyone.
How's it going? We were just talking Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
Hey, late Optimus, you mentioned that voice you just used is what I'm thinking of. Can we get Jeff Ramsey? I don't know if we can afford it. Wait a minute, we have the Muppets. Why don't we get the Swedish chef in as a cameo? Maybe he could do it.
Actually, going back to Chef Ramsey for a second, there was a little thing on YouTube where Chef Ramsey actually went up against the Swedish chef.
I saw that. That was great.
That was great.
That's great. But one cooking show that Rob always talked about when the Sesame Street gang actually went in, he could not. Number one, of course, Cookie Monster being his usual great self. Cookies. And the other
Elmo talking about saying, looks at a bunch of cookies saying, looks like cow chips.
Cow chips.
No, everyone's cracking up like, cow chips. He's shouting it.
This is why I love the Muppets.
Y'all speaking of chefs, you've heard of Robert Irvine, right?
I heard of him.
He's like the light Chef Ramsey. Still British and everything, but the dude's built like a tank. Like,
oh my gosh,
huge. And he had this show called it was either Restaurant Impossible or it was another one. It was also Impossible at the end. Basically, it's like he had to do a catering events for like these huge venues, and he only had like 24 hours to plan it and do it and stuff. One of them was for a thing for Sesame Street, right? And one of the things was during the thing, it's like you had Elmo and Cookie Monster like trying to help, quote unquote. and he's literally getting angry. He's like, "Hey, you're ruining product."
Yeah.
We got time for this.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
And then they made it a bit because later on he goes like he had to go and apologize like, guys, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I used to watch you when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
50 years of Sesame Street stuff. 50.
Right. Oh boy, I just got an update about Wanpool, one of the Indiegogo books. Boy, I feel bad for the guys, involved, how much they've gone through so much.
Yeah, what happened? Because I heard about that.
Yeah, well, right now it's he's been and one of them's been on a layoff and everything, and the other one's trying to just finally got settled in a new place and now working his commitments. But they're trying to get things going. But it's just like, man, you feel bad?
Yeah, real life, man.
Bring it bad luck. Hey, this is what I was going through until I got my new job 3 weeks ago.
Right.
I thought, I got a maxed out credit card. What do I do? I got no money. Money left.
Right. But yeah, anyway, the thing with Transformers, I love anything with Tom Scolari's artwork. I don't know if you ever heard of Godland that he did with Joe Casey.
The name sounds familiar.
It's basically, if you took Jack Kirby, if Jack Kirby was Frank Sinatra, Godland with Joe Casey and Tom Scolari is like the Sid Vicious version. I think am I getting the right musicians or my
Sid Vicious sang My Way. Yeah.
You say Sid Vicious, and I think about Psycho Sid from WWF and
we can talk. Now I'll say this: Randy Savage and Sid Vicious were the guys that got me into wrestling because we are the masters and rulers.
Right.
Sid, as a kid, I know the Scott Hall. You are half the man I am,
and I got half the brain that you do.
That is wrestle crap. I love it.
But yeah,
it's like great promo, but he knows he does. Wait, we're still on live television.
Well, you see, the funny thing is Sid is actually really smart. The real Sid Udy is a really smart dude.
But the funny thing is, though, the person who made that comparison was Grant Morrison.
Oh.
So you have Grant Morrison basically saying that Godland is basically the Sid Vicious of Kirby, Frank Sinatra. What does that tell you? That's pretty high pedigree, if you're asking me.
Right.
But yeah, it's it is trippy. But this is okay, I think, when he was still on drugs, I think.
Yeah. I think we need to bring Dion into the conversation here. So
sorry.
What I got to ask you. So who is Dion? Is he Ultra Magnus or is he Ironhide? I mean, okay, I'm waiting. You've heard, huh?
Wait, what did I miss?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's going on? I want to talk over. Yeah.
Sorry. We've been doing that quite a bit lately, unfortunately, Dion. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
So, what have you been up to, man?
Well, I recently just got back from dinner with the family, just having a nice vacation in Yosemite.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and I came home from college in Oregon.
Oh, so from Oregon to Yosemite.
Well, yeah. Well, before that.
Right.
Yeah, but before that, actually, I recently there was a death in the family from my dad's side.
Sorry to hear that.
Sorry.
I hate to say it, but that's been a running thing because I lost my grandmother 3 weeks ago. So
yeah, but then you have the stuff with Anna, a Star Wars girl.
Yeah. It's been and then Malin's.
I'll be honest, I just saw the article about that mentioned what happened, and I'm like, oh.
What was it that happened? Because I've heard about her. I don't know who Star Wars girl.
The article I read up is right. It was they found the car off a curb and they think it was intentional.
Oh,
jeez.
I had a bad feeling about that. All honesty.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. Not my place to say this. I know, but part of me feels like she knew that they saw her.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that's what happened.
Depending on headspace and stuff like that,
Yeah,
it could have been one of those.
Given the timing of it all, and her being spotted,
mm-hmm.
It's a shame. It is a shame. That's how it went.
I put it this way: in July, when July 1st rolled over, I said, "Fuck June," And even though I was born in June, and my birthday's in June, I was still like, fuck June this year at least. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
But again, no, I just felt so bad when I just read the article this morning, so I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah, but just a reminder that remember everybody here tonight, everyone watching, you guys are awesome. You're
You
great
are.
people.
you're
Mental health is a serious issue, and I know it can be hard sometimes. But
Yep.
if you ever
Trust
feel
me, I
that
know.
way, please seek help, guys. You know,
Yeah.
because
Agreed.
you mean
Yeah,
more than
agreed, definitely.
you mean so much more to everyone.
Oh, believe me, I've had moments like that myself. Comes with being autistic, it does get to that point, and I'm so glad I have such great friends like you
Absolutely.
guys.
I think it's lessened for me because of two reasons. Number one, I got a very physical job, so I'm a lot less stressed out because I exercise. And secondly, I'm like, why am I getting annoyed about a billion people that I've never met before, probably will never meet, and unless it directly affects me up here in Connecticut or as an American, why the fuck should I worry?
I think it also helps that you realize that the majority of Twitter does not represent the country. I think that probably helped out too.
It's like you mentioned wrestling. I think of Booker T when he said, "Yo, sucker, save the drama for your mama." That's what I want to tell SJWs. Save the drama for your mama, because you're all still living at home, you're jobless, and you're never going to get out of college with that stupid gender studies degree, you morons.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry.
What do you mean I can't get a job with my liberal arts degree?
I gotta say this. I just saw this dumbest tweet. Tristan just retweeted this. Someone tweeted out, air conditioning is unhealthy, bad, miserable, and sexist. I can't explain how many times I've gotten sick over the summer because of overzealous AC in offices.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What?
Apparently, air conditioning is sexist.
How?
Oh yeah, they had that.
How exactly?
What?
Yeah, that's what I said.
a,
Air conditioning is unhealthy, bad, miserable, and sexist. I can't explain how many times I've gotten sick over the summer because of overzealous AC in offices.
Wait a minute.
Is there a special substance in those air conditioners?
And then it leads to a hashtag ban AC.
That has to be a troll. Come on.
Nope. This is a blue check mark.
Okay,
What?
first of all.
Here's more. There's more. Dying at all the men in my mentions, having a literal meltdown because I suggested raising office temps a few degrees in the summer. No amount of AC on the planet will help men chill. Well, that's not what you said, you idiot.
No, that's no. Now it's for me.
No way.
I turned into Jeff Goldblum again. That I don't get it.
I'm not kidding on this, and this was a blue check mark.
Can somebody?
Staff writer at the Atlantic, of course.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, that explains it all.
They have a obvious mental deficiency. They work for the Atlantic.
Hey, look on the bright side. At least Newsweek gives an opinion piece to Ben Shapiro, so at least that's something.
True.
Yeah, we'll just put a retweet. It's like doorknobs trigger me, guys. I can't look at them.
Wait.
It's like, boy,
Wait. Yeah, before you continue, Rob, if doorknobs trigger you, we got to do the push button they did in Back to the Future Part 2 for all doors now. No, but it's got to recognize us all, so it's like, welcome home, Marty.
Oh, yeah.
But I got to also say is with it's just like, remember how things used to be like, oh, everyone's Sue happy? Now everyone's trigger happy.
No, I want to go back to Sue happy because I want to take whatever money is left from these guys and just add to the homeless in this country, and because they deserve it. They just don't get it.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking the other day about these lawsuits and things. Like, what happens if Zach wins, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'd say if I'm not going to say win because like every lawyer, a real lawyer, not lawyers, on Twitter. And real lawyers will tell you always say if, maybes, and could be's. Don't ever speak in absolutes when it comes to the law because you never know how the judge's gavel is going to go down.
Right.
So,
it looks like with Zach's case, he has a judge that's more likely to hear out at least.
Yeah, because they're allowing him to amend their initial complaint to explain why what Wade did was defamation in Texas and blah blah blah. Anyway, the point is, when he wins, now he's asking for $85,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it goes to jury, a jury can award far more than that or far less than that. right?
That's
And I've
true.
always said, I you know, as a hypothetical, I said, what happens if he, you know, somebody puts that in the millions, right?
Ooh.
Ooh.
And I said, that means
Wade's gone.
Wade would
Wade's
have to give him properties, like creator own things.
Probably also his all of his comic collections probably too. Given all the stuff
Yeah.
he's got.
He would have to give him stuff. Like,
Holy.
could you imagine like Zach all of a sudden owning irredeemable? You know?
I'd buy it off of him then.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Now you think, no,
You
Rob,
don't need those anymore. I'll take them.
now
Yeah.
Robert, after that, you'll get it from pennies on the dollar. I'll just say that.
Right. But yeah, then you just have but yeah, that's a good point. And then now I would say this: the Vic case, for example, that is, I'd hope at least with Funimation clearly throwing certain people under the bus.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would
I've been
You know, I
noticing.
mean I figured Funimation was the long shot. Funimation was the long shot.
Funimation is like, we don't know these people.
Although I think, you know what, part of me feels like
they
I think that's why Ty put him in the lawsuit to make him throw him under the bus. I don't think Ty ever thought it was going to go far with Funimation. I think he knew what he was doing and intentionally did it to get Funimation to just toss Monica and the others under the bus.
Well, it's like last night I was watching Nick Rekieta,
Mm-hmm.
and I like it because it was supposed to be just him playing Phoenix Wright stream. He's like,
Mhm.
since all you guys showed up tonight, I'm going to show you something. He's like, just show you something funny. And usually when Nick shows something funny, it's actually pertinent to the case, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, so he pointed out in Funimation's TCPA where they're saying this case needs to be dismissed, it has no merit, blah blah blah. And one of the things they said was that the HR person for Funimation and other people called Vic on the phone and told him that he was terminated, right? Then he said, "What's this?" And he showed parts of Funimation's contract where it says they have to be released via writing.
Oh,
really?
I smell breach of contract.
Yeah, so
Wow.
he said, "Isn't that funny?" He always that's how I like how Nick does it. Isn't that kind of funny?
Again, why do they keep on screwing up this lawsuit so much?
Again, it's like, no, you'd mentioned that, and again, we were talking about WCW, how they got fired over the phone or fired over a blank FedEx inside. It was nuts.
I know, but it's like, I still find it so ridiculous. I mean, in the case of people like Monica and all that, I mean, here's the funny thing is when I started out and I did my one video about everything, I basically said, I've heard this stuff for years. It could be one way, it could be the other. And that was it. But when you look at it, then if as it went on, I'm like, okay, Monica and the others are going way too over the top for anything.
Like I said, I was kind of like you. I was like, I mean,
yeah.
it could be. I was saying it could be. I like you said, I've heard things, but again, it was always I heard things. I never.
I know. But now, granted, there were people saying the same things like, "Oh, does Vic have an ego?" Oh, yeah, definitely. I kept hearing all the horror stories from when he did Star Trek Continues, how he screwed over another fan series and all that. I've heard about stuff like that.
Then you find out Axonar actually screwed themselves over. It had nothing.
No. This isn't Axonar. This was another fan.
Oh,
series.
okay.
They stole the sets from them.
Oh,
and then him also being an ass with the Star Trek New Voyages guys. So again, I'm aware of his ego. So some of the stuff like him being rude to some people at conventions, okay, yeah, there's reasonableness for that. But then all the other stuff, it's like, no. And then they went again so far overboard. You had Jamie Marchi making her statements then, and then
yeah, that's another thing. I gotta say, reading her. By the way, Jamie Marchi's attorney is the only sensible one in this whole bunch so far.
Yeah,
he's just in a blanket. We deny everything. Like, oh, a sensible one. Thank God.
I know he's like, I just represent these people. They do not represent me. I'm just gonna say,
I'm just doing the case, man. I don't know.
No, I'm a lawyer who doesn't use big words to confuse people and make me look eloquent. I'm just short, sweet, to the point. And here's my 3-word statement. The lawyer man is out. Peace.
Yeah,
right.
But then you got like Monica and Ron's lawyer, and they're like,
they're
accusing Ty Beard of harassment.
They try to sneak.
And somebody explain to me what these clowns are saying.
Now, weren't they the ones who tried to sneak in a doxing of Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, again, they got. I can't tell who's worse, them or Mark Zaid.
Zay is just like, at least he just speaks up on Twitter and acts stupid. Like, at least the documents so far have been like your normal. This is what you would do in a case like this, kind of kind of
this
thing.
person is.
Yeah. It hasn't like gone outrageously about something stupid. It's like also, we've been told not Zach, but his lawyer. We've been told his lawyer is a pedophile. Like,
although let's be honest,
to the E,
let's be honest,
to the E to the D.
But let's be honest about this. Given how they clearly, when they had the lawyer for a while, and the lawyer never told them to shut the hell up on Twitter, I think that already speaks volumes ahead of time that they were already an incompetent lawyer.
That's why I said I would like it when when their lawyers like start examining them on the stand, like in front of people, not just depositions and stuff. I want them to start saying something stupid. I think Marky would probably be the one who would be the dumbest, right? She would start saying something, and during his examination, her lawyer says, "Your Honor, I object. It's your client. I know. Get her to shut up."
It would turn into a mixture of liar, and that one public domain three stooges disorder in the court. All right, were you there when Vic Mignogna said those things? Certainly.
Yep. No,
that's pretty much what it is.
Dion, what do you think?
One thing's for sure, though, there's a reason I never ate jelly beans.
Right. Hey, Dion, what's your take on any of this? With the Vic stuff.
Well, I think this has been going on for a while, and so far with Monica, Jamie, and everyone else, they are not helping their cases at all. And that's all I can say. And when you mentioned the lawyer being the sensible one, all I can think of is he's pretty much the only sane man of the bunch who's trying and failing to get everyone calm everyone down and keep them in check.
It's like, hey guys, it's like, hey guys, I don't, it's not my place. I'm not y'all's attorney or anything, but could y'all not be stupid? That would be great.
Because you say all this stuff, and it's just gonna make things worse instead of just keeping it between the parties and everything and working it out that way. Just let's throw it out on Twitter. Nothing. We'll get no repercussions from that.
It's like this, because I think in one of the filings, they're saying these are true statements, and then it's something to the effect. In one of the statements, I think it said something like Monica said that she, didn't necessarily mean that he did anything to her. I said, you literally said on Twitter, it happened to me.
Exactly, and that's why she was so distraught. And that was her excuse. That was her excuse for why she was so distraught.
Yeah. And then on top of that, Jamie, Jamie didn't do defamation, but she said, I want his head, I want his balls. Either you really want, you really want, quote unquote, want Vic, or you actually want him dead. It's like
exactly.
No, the way I'm sorry to interrupt, but the way this is all playing out in one of his voices right now, I feel like I'm in an episode of Birdman, Attorney at Law. Here's another. You're ruining the cases for yourself. Those tapes were all taken out of context.
Now, here's another question to ask: do you think Rooster Teeth is going to get roped in at all, or do you think because their decision was more of a we just want to cover our butts, they're probably not?
I mean, they've kept quiet for the most
part.
Well,
one thing they did in their favor is they said that they didn't do an investigation.
All right.
Right. It seems like they were just going along with what
it was a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Jumping the bandwagon.
Miles Luna may have said they did. I don't know. But all I know is we now have a new replacement. It's another well-loved anime voice actor, and Jason Berkrat.
And the guy who did Jace from
well played, because some of the kick Vickers or the stand with Vickers are now like, oh, but I love Jason. He's in My Hero Academia. He played Naboo. What am I going to do?
We'll just enjoy it, and that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
As long as Crow still sounds like this and still takes out of the flask, I'm perfectly fine.
And I'll also say this. Okay, yeah, Monica has a bigger role in Genlock. She's out of Ruby already. She's already dead in Ruby.
Yeah, Sienna Khan, again, cup of coffee and get the hell out.
Wait, what?
In Ruby, she was Monica.
Yeah.
Monica Real was Sienna Khan, the leader of the White Fang, until Adam basically stabbed her in the back.
Everyone was outraged. I remember how everyone was outraged about that. Remember when that happened? People was like, "Oh, you wasted a great actress," and now people are like,
but now they're saying, "No, Adam was a great character. You wasted a great villain." And now for the bees, save the bees.
Well, see, when I found out that like what I found hilarious is like I didn't know who Jamie Markey was, right?
I didn't either.
And then I found out she was the one who rewrote the Gamergate line in prison school. Yeah, I was like, well, this explains everything.
It does. It does. Oh Lord!
When I heard that she did the Gamergate line, I'm like, yep. Now here's the thing. Okay, guys. Okay, we know what Ghost Stories is, right? We know.
Oh
that
yeah,
anime.
and I know, and I know how that was basically they told do whatever you want. Our script is trash.
Yeah. What was funny is when I'm looking through, you look through that and you see who was in that anime, Monica Rial,
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you know the one?
And I believe her character was the Jesus freak.
Oh, jeez.
So she was literally saying like we don't want to deal with those brown people. I'm like,
oh, you know what the one joke I still remember was is that there's a kid running and he's like crying. They're like, pretend you're being chased by a scary black guy. He falls over. Well, at least we know he's not racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I found out I didn't know this like until I saw it was a comment at it was at Anime Matsuri where they asked Vic about that he was in that, but he says when he first heard about it, he's like, I'm going to use a pen name. So Vic is in that series. I think he did one voice, but he only did it. And I think he said they called him Obi something because he said he found out he was a Star Wars fan, so he called him Obi something. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, the same guy who didn't go on. The guy who didn't go. Same guy, writer, would then end up doing High School of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, same similar type of writing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I will admit I found something kind of stupid and funny about that show when they did the dub like that.
Right, but that was
the whole thing where you remember the whole thing with the rabbit. It's just like I know now that we can never be together, not because you're a rabbit, because you're black.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh my God! Wait! Now that you said that, I want that to be the next Roger Rabbit movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Jessica would be like, "Honey, it's not because I love you, even though I've loved you more than anyone that's ever loved Rabbit. It's just that. But I could rub it up. I can swatch it up with fur. Just look, Jessica, look, look, look."
But the other thing is that, like I said, with Rooster Teeth, is that they already have enough problems to deal with anyway, and one could still make
problems. Glass door, animation budget.
Yeah, but of course, one could say they had more to lose than Funimation did because you already had Otter basically shuttered and merged into Warner Brothers Digital, and basically, what are they? And they know. One wrong move, Warner Brothers could just drop the axe on them and merge them into something else. So one could say you had more to lose by sticking up for Vic.
Well, here's how you'll know Funimation's going to lose. Toei finally puts the hammer down and it says, "Give us back our IPs. I want Dragon Ball back."
There's still that rumor.
You're ruining our things.
There's still that rumor going on that they are going to take it.
Huh.
Yeah, you know what? Take it and give it to Viz Media or something. See if I care.
But I think
what's the rumor exactly?
That there's the rumor that Toei is going to take away the Dragon Ball Z license. Although to be honest, I don't see that happening because
I kind of do, and
you
I can
do?
explain why. A few weeks ago, when they had the Dragon Ball, was it like the 30th anniversary?
That's it. Yeah, and that was a disaster.
Yeah, they did that, and on Toonami they were, talking about, this is Dragon Ball's 30th anniversary, blah blah blah, yada yada, and then they go, Toei is sponsoring this giveaway. I'm like, Toei? Toei went around Funimation?
Oh boy!
I was like, I mean, that's the only thing that I would give credence that it might be a hint of something, As far as you're not going to know anything until contracts run out, right? Because you're not going to cancel a contract. True. There is not a Japanese Japanese company in the world that will cancel a contract. They'll let it run out. Well, but they're not going to cancel the contract unless they absolutely.
Well, you'll still get in trouble. It's like with a Godzilla product. Toho said no. I thought they meant yes.
From Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, when they
yeah.
go on DVD.
Yep.
Taking the not too distant future.
But it's like, remember when Funny, had the bright idea? It's like, hey guys, I just want to say, we've been doing business with Cartoon Network for, about 15, 20 years, right? Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, fuck them. Let's go to Nick.
Oh God.
Oh, Christmas, Mr. Popo Blue.
Oh, I was about to say that.
You're watching Nickelodeon now. Back
Exactly. And then we're finally going to put the over 9,000 in this version. Let's put it on Nickelodeon. And everyone has to watch it with the Blue Popo.
Blue Popo.
I know. And everyone's like, they handled it better than they handled Power Rangers Samurai.
And then of course you have I'll say this. Give me Blue Popo over whatever the heck Jinx was.
Jinx.
From Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, now I want to rewatch the Christmas episode. Thanks, Rob.
But yeah, but still, this whole thing going on with Vic. I mean, I know I tried to avoid it, but yeah, we couldn't avoid it. Talking about it. Just
we didn't really avoid it, Rob.
I know. I would say, I just hope for the best for him, and I hope that again. Even I still hold no ill will for Monica still, because believe it or not, when I do a volunteering at a comic convention, I can get a free autograph. Now, granted, she was my third choice, but unfortunately, I guess my first two were already given out to the others. But yeah, I actually got a free autograph from her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think he's gone again.
Son of a... No, he hit the mute button.
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry, but yeah, like I said, I actually got an autograph, but I dare not show it online. I'm just afraid of how the others are going to react.
Yeah.
Just by mentioning it right now, I could be in trouble.
I don't think you will.
I know, but I just say this, that I got it for free because I wasn't going to pay from her. I was able to pay money for Chris Sabat to do an autograph my Ruby Blu-ray, but that's as far as I got. Everything else I've been able to get for free by going to conventions. The anime conventions.
Right. Hey,
so,
you're lucky you got it for free. I mean, all the money I spent it on Veronica Taylor. I spent it on Jason David Frank. I spent it on, Jerry the King Lawler. I spent it on, Ric Flair now, even though I had an NWO shirt. Big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
No NWO guys. And I'm like, God damn it.
Right. But
he still signed his shit regardless. But I got it for Tawny Kitten. So, yes, I can say I shook hands. I got an autograph from the girl who danced on the hood of Whitesnake's car, folks.
Right. But still, with Monica, I mean, again, well, for one, she's not the Bulma I grew up with. I'll openly admit.
I know.
Well, that's true.
She's like the Bulma you grew up with, picked up a 5-pack a day habit. And
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever happened to the other actress? Whatever happened to her?
She just stopped doing voice acting.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I looked into it, and yeah, she stopped doing voice acting.
Okay, but it's not like what happened with the voice for Goku, from what I heard, where things had like a falling out or something.
No. Well, the other voice of Goku was that was Ocean. So
that was no. I'm talking about the one that was still on Funimation originally. Also the original young Gohan voice.
Oh, so Kid Goku then.
Yeah, Kid Goku's right.
Oh, him, them, I don't know.
No, her. Yeah,
her. I don't know. I don't know what happened with that.
I know she was at.
Sorry.
I know she was at.
Okay. One at a time.
Sorry, guys. Once again, it's a three-way, and the fourth one is out.
Phrasing.
Yeah, for one more. No.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was just saying was at one of the anime conventions that Vic went to, one of the big ones. I remember she was invited there as well. At Kamehacon. She was there at Kamehacon.
Wait, I thought she was a couple blocks down at a bookstore or something.
No. That's Monica. I'm talking about the actress who was young Gohan, the original voice. She came by. I also know that she was originally going to be the voice of KO and OKKO.
Yeah, that's
right. But then
right.
they changed her when they went to. But then they changed her when they went to series too. So I was like, man, the woman can't catch a break, can she?
No, she cannot. But as I was saying, if all else fails, I have one solution. Team 4-Star has gotten way too good. Go let them do it.
They're already getting their own professional dubbing gig.
See, there you go.
Oh, are they?
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they're getting their own doing a
I mean,
professional dub.
It really
Well,
is amazes me
congratulations to
how
them.
far they've come from a parody. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Well, actually, yeah, I did hear about that.
Yep, and I say fundamentally, and Team Four Star, they're the type of guys I've noticed who, again, they'll mention their politics, but they're not full assholes about it either.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what I mean? I mean, even when you have someone like Kaiser, I believe that's the right one I'm thinking of. He's like, oh no, he is open about where he is politically, especially given the type of person he is. But at the same time, he'll still speak out saying, okay, guys, seriously, come on now, settle down.
Basically, they're actually good, decent guys to approach with. Is that what you got? Not
Basically, even
like
online.
if
So
you
long
start
as
to
you-
talk with, like, it's not as long as you don't get on the wrong foot with them. Like, you know, okay, you could have a nice talk with them. You could reminisce about DBZ in the good old days.
exactly.
It's because you remember they're fans, kind of like Little Cabral with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridged. According to Wikipedia, we
We don't exist.
Yeah.
My dubs are not fake, right?
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I did it at the same time. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I always, it always sounds like Richard Harris doing Billy saying, "I don't believe you."
There's do it for Serenity. Oh yeah, that's my favorite Joss Whedon movie.
Yeah.
Funny thing also, hey, after this might blow your mind. Did you ever see the show You Can't Do That on Television?
Yeah, when I was young,
Yeah, obviously.
I'm
Did
a
you
big
know that
fan.
there was an animated version that was done by fans from a website called You Still Can't Do That on Television.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main actresses, and this was one of her first voice acting gig, but you could already tell she knew what she was doing. A young Christina V.
Okay.
You know about that? She's an anime voice actress.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the fact that she did that was one of her first gigs. Was this spoof of You Can't Do That on Television? Now she's gonna do Mighty Ladybug and Shantae and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, wow, that was her start. That?
It's funny to see somewhere some of these people come from.
Oh, I know,
yeah.
like Rena-chan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
In fact,
Rena-chan,
how
definitely.
many of these people who started out small did Skullgirls?
Yeah, I know.
Especially Rena-chan as which one is she? She's the one with the crazy hat and all that.
Peacock.
Peacock, yeah, she's Peacock.
Nickelodeon still knows them before they were famous. Alistair, you did that on purpose.
Oh, geez, the fact that that's
That's Alanis freaking Morissette. This was the soundtrack to my 95, my 95, and my 96, actually.
that is still a jaw dropper. Then you're like, wait, that's a lot. That's a lot. What?
It's like when you find out AJ McLean of the Backstreet Boys was a contestant on Nickelodeon Guts.
Do you have it?
Guts!
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, geez, that's a great show too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nickelodeon before they were famous. Before she was Sabrina, she was Clarissa. I'll explain it all later. Later, furry face.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? It's starting to get a bit late now.
Oh, sorry. Before you go.
Yep. No, it's all right. Yep.
Perch had another okay.
Oh, geez.
It's the classic. It's the classic. Captain America. He's thawed out from that.
Right.
And Wasp is flying up to him and says, "Make no mistake, even if Trump loses, we will know who supported him."
We should just have a live reading of all of these. These are great.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it for free.
One day.
Yep. That was not that time.
Pretty hilarious when I saw that.
Yeah.
Right. But guys, I'm starting to get a bit tired. Actually.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I got work in the morning.
I gotta go play video games. I mean, also work.
Okay.
Sorry, we kind of overshadowed you.
No, it's fine. And I apologize for coming in, relatively late.
That's all right.
Yeah, no problem.
Start.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it was a rough start anyway.
A very rough
so-
start. This is the cursed stream.
Yep.
It ended up going well anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
let's close it
next
out.
time.
Nicholas.
And
Yeah, maybe next time.
yeah,
Well, let's
I'll
close it
make
out
sure
next.
to come in on time.
Right. So, to anyone else that's still stuck around for us, I think there's no Christopher Jackson just left, but this is Robert and other Robert on the other account.
From planet Earth B.
Right.
The one shade that's shaved.
Right. Okay, I'm trying to get us to sign out. So yeah, this is Robert. Anyone else?
Kingdom Key 23.
Oh. Optimus Deadpool, you can find me at Grady.5. Quick chill.
And E-Man saying before midnight, I declare this meeting of the Midnight Society closed.
And
I'm Dion Powell, and you can find me on Twitter at Dion Durock Jr.
By the way, I'm E-Man here, but on to Twitter, I'm Easy 3000 or something like that.
Easy the Man 3000.
1,000, right.
Okay, and well, I'll catch you guys, and we'll catch you all guys later. Until the next stream.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
And
guys.
remember-
Bye-bye.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.
And remember, a winner is you.